Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.
Mary's Legion Post 323, veterans working for veterans and the future of our country. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 also donates thousands of dollars each year to local summer programs such as Boys State, Girls State, scholarships in education, Boy Scouts, oratorical, and shooting sports. St. Mary's Legion Post 323, remembering the past, living the present, and working for the future.
Well, welcome everybody to Astro Lanes over in Wapak, Annette, Ohio. Another Rider Nation Station broadcast brought to you with Logan Yelton and Phil Austin. Phil, we were going over a few things before this match. We've been here for quite some time. Let the excitement build up a little bit for us. And
absolutely. You've been here since what, 9?
Started about 9. I did take a long break.
Okay.
I think Brian kicked me out of here.
Getting it all set up. That's great, but I am excited to be here, part of this Wapak St. Mary's little face-off tonight. We got the ladies and the fellows bowling here tonight. Thought we would take a look. First of all, we're going to start with the ladies. So to take a look at the St. Mary's lineup, we've got Braylee Mullins is going to lead us off. Kylie Smith is second. Allie Cable third. Kaylee McKinley fourth. And Kaylee Kaywood is going to anchor the St. Mary's ladies. And for the varsity of the Wapakoneta Redskins, we've got Delaney Wireman first. Kaylee Hyde will be second. Riley Warnicke is third. Fourth is Sophia Rupert Heck. And fifth is Auburn. And I'm trying to make sure I don't mess this name up because the parents will let me know. I'm sure it is Schnarry.
Correct. Yep, I got Schnarry from one of the coaches there, so we'll roll with that one.
All right, great. Got a lot of accolades on both of these teams over the years. We have seen multiple titles at the state level and so much more.
Right, and this team of boys and girls, St. Mary's Wapak, has become quite the rival. Everybody's been talking about this match at the bowling centers. They're ready. They want to beat each other more than anything in the world. Just want to run down quick. We are showing both boys and girls tonight. We're going to run 4 frames with the girls, and then we're going to jump over. We'll have the guys in, and then from there jump back to the girls, and then back to the guys to finish up the 10th, depending on where the matches are at, and then we'll get that all figured out. There's a good shot there by McKinley. Third bowler for Wapak there, Riley Warnicke. Looks like St. Mary's coming off with a pretty strong start. 3 strikes so far for the girls, 1 open.
The lane conditions here at Astro Lanes, usually not necessarily too difficult to hit the pocket, but I will tell you, in my history here, it is very hard to stack up strikes. Very, very hard to carry, whether it be the 10-pin or a swish and 7 or whatever, to get the ball to go through the pins properly over and over and over. It's a difficult carrying house. So if you can stack a few strikes up here, you've got a leg up on the competition probably.
Absolutely, and I can promise you I feel the same way about this place. Maybe for the Canards it's one thing, but for myself.
Oh, absolutely. So Jay Gibson, the head coach of the St. Mary's girls team. Jay, of course, proprietor now of Varsity Lanes in St. Mary's. He's participated in 2 state titles back in 2011 and 2019.
Right. So a notable name there with one of the years of coaching was Carl Kieser.
Absolutely.
As an assistant coach, or I don't know how they worked that out, whether they were both head coaches. But that was a very notable name. And Carl Dameyer, who's not here tonight, he's still coaching as well. He had to be out of town this week, so not here tonight, but he's been coaching since I can remember as well. And I think Jay said, 25 plus years on his coaching?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jay's been here 25 years, and taking a look at some of the other accolades on Jay's resume, looks like they've won 6 WBL titles, 3 outright and 3 co-champs. So that's something to say about this team. They are a tough St. Mary's team.
I believe that they always have a target on their back. Everybody wants to come in and beat St. Mary's, and St. Mary's seems to put it all together and prevail a lot of the times.
No question. I will say that the Wapakoneta Redskins are certainly no slouch. They have a state title back in 2015. Steve Rostifer has been the head coach there since 2004, so he's going on 21 years.
Wow.
As the head coach. They've won 4 WBL titles. So we've got a nice little matchup today. I don't know, are there any other teams that have quite the resume that these two have?
Looking through the WBL stats.
In our area, Logan, I don't think so.
No. The WBL stats, they speak for themselves. St. Mary's with 6, Wapak with 4, and then Salina comes in with 2. So, and then Van Wert does have 1 as well. I wish it would tell us the years. I don't see the years on here, but when all of those other ones took place. But yeah, it's St. Mary's and Wapak up top quite a bit. Great shot there by Kaylee Smith.
I'm going to have to rely on you, Logan, to give the score updates because, well, that's just too far away for my old eyes to zoom in on it, buddy. Sorry about that.
Oh. Somehow, some way, we're going to start hooking into these monitors and show the scoring.
There you go.
Good cover there by Wapak. Looked like that was Kaylee Hyde. Allie Cable says, I'm going to strike. Warnicki leaving the bucket minus.
Well, it looks like I got a head pin standing there on that one.
Oh, yeah, it is.
139? 139?
139, yes.
Mm-hmm. You're the one with the vision here, Logan. I'm leaning on you, brother.
I'm sorry. You just asked me to do that, and I'm asking you.
We're also, so for those of you that aren't in the building, which is everybody that's watching the live stream, we're all the way off to the side, a couple lanes over. So the angle that you see, you got to kind of double take to get a good look at the pins.
Ooh, great cover.
Nice cover there.
Take a look at that on our instant replay here.
All right. How about that?
Is that the 2-4-10 there, yeah. And that was, Kaylee McKinley.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Her, I believe I bowl with her father.
Okay.
Her father, Brian.
Up in
Lima.
In Lima?
20th century, yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, she throws the ball really well. When we did the broadcast against Versailles, she was definitely a notable one. Just throws the ball so well. Mm-hmm. And then same with Kaylee Haywood here.
So to talk about that hit right there, that is the typical Astro Lanes carry. So that ball came into the pocket pretty nice, but almost left a 5-7. The 5 fell. The ball just didn't quite drive enough through the pins to take that 7 out.
Right, and that's where you said stacking those strikes together. It's very tough to do because of that ball motion through the pins.
In other centers, that could have very well been a strike, but at Astro Lanes, it was a 7.
Right.
So you're shooting spares where you might have had 3 or 4 in a row here. That is the nature of the beast, and I think Brian Van Meter is incredibly proud of that about his center.
I believe he is incredibly proud about that. You got to earn them.
And as we see on both of these teams, and I will say this, St. Mary's is a tricky center as well. Varsity Lanes is tricky, and what it does is it breeds fantastic bowlers because they learn how to bowl. Then when they go out and get in a tournament somewhere, they they have the experience to know how to adjust.
There is no doubt about that, and that is so important. And a great point, Phil, is the fact that the breeding of bowlers, of how many great collegiate bowlers these two schools have produced, have gone on to do really good things in the bowling world. Their names are known from the rip. They're like, oh gosh, they bowled in Wapak or they bowled in St. Mary's, and now we're competing against each other.
And coaches too.
You've
turned out coaches as well. For the UNOH, they have Anthony Kennard, Brandon Kennard, the head coach for the boys, who we'll see in a little bit. His brother coaches the girls for UNOH. And I do believe there's a St. Mary, Gunnar Cruz.
Gunnar Cruz
is a St. Mary's alum.
Correct.
And he is an assistant coach for the boys at UNOH.
It's amazing that these two teams have built and produced these great bowlers, and then the knowledge behind it to where they can take that to the next level and either bowl or coach or both.
Absolutely.
We have Kylie Smith up here on lane 4 for St. Mary's. She's working off a strike.
And gave that one just a little too much room for Kylie.
See if we can get another instant replay up for us. Got the 1-2 8-10. She's going to want to hit this on the left side of that head pin.
Yep. Kylie's a sophomore. Highest game ever, 222. She's got a vibe that is her favorite ball. I used to like those. I had a few of those over the years. And she threw some pins around there, but nothing bounced to get the 10.
Kaylee Hyde stepped up there for Wapak, threw a strike. With space in between pins, I know, Lordy, that's tough to get up there and see space between pins and go up and try to throw a strike. For some reason, it does not sit well with me. Allie Cable here on 4 for St. Mary's. Ooh, I just had to bring that up.
And there you go. Welcome to Astro Lanes, Allie.
7-10 split for Allie Cable. Riley Warnicki here for Wapak.
That's a little high. Allie's going to want to go after one of those pins hard and just try to bounce it out and see if you can roll it over there.
We have never had a Rider Nation Station 7-10 split.
Well, let's do it today, Allie. She is a sophomore as well, averages 160, and she likes the phase 2. I had some of those phases.
That was a good line.
A lot of people liked them.
Yes.
I did not bowl well with any of them. Wait a minute, I didn't bowl well ever.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right, she got the 7, thought it might go over to the 10, but no can do.
See if Warnicki can pick up her 6-10 here.
And nice cover. Extended well on that one.
That's also the name of the game too, Phil, is spare. She threw that confidently.
Oh, yeah.
McKinley here. There, she got some shuffling around.
She did. She carried a little shaker there. That was good. Nice hard speed right up the outside.
Looks like Sophia Rupert Hecht there on 3, just got it outside early.
A lot of sophomores on the team here. I just realized that.
Right, it's a young team.
Yeah, absolutely. She averages 170, and she has shot a 233 game. So highest. Got that spare there.
Kayla Kaywood here up on lane 4 for St. Mary's. There she kind of pointed that one. Got that one right really quick.
Leaving that washout. She wants to hit that head pin on the left. Send it over to the 10 and let the ball take the rest of them out.
And Shinari, that was a good shot. Just maybe the ball died a little bit early and couldn't get that 10 out.
That's the one thing I love about these high school matches is the energy that happens here in these buildings. These people are incredibly excited.
Right, and we look at this shot right here of the fans. There's probably 150 people in here.
Oh, yeah.
to watch this match.
Love it. I love it.
And we always talk about it. Bowling centers, they were not built for spectator sporting.
No.
But they make it work. And
Brian Van Meter reached out to our good friend Linus Hardings from Coldwater, and he built him some bleachers, and that's why you see the crowd sitting on these nice wooden bleachers here at Astor Lane.
Yeah, and if you're watching at home, if you've never been to a match, I encourage you to, just because it is loud. You would think bowling, we see bowling on TV, and it minus a few of the shows, it's quiet.
Oh yeah.
And so come out here, I would bring earplugs.
I remember my first time walking into a high school match. I had no idea what I was getting to do. I had bowled for years, and at the highest level.
Right. Yeah.
I bowled in PBA events or whatever, and I walk into my first high school match, and I'm like, holy cow, these kids are pumped up.
It is a different world.
And yeah, it's good. And that energy level definitely can help you as a bowler stay focused and really, really try just a little bit harder. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes trying a little harder might make you throw an errant shot too. It just depends on how you're wired, I guess.
Exactly. But the big thing that I will say about these two teams, and most of the teams in the WBL and in the MAC who have this type of high school, it's almost a tournament setting during a match. When they go to tournaments, they're so ready for this big crowd. I believe it helps them out. We look at our titles through St. Mary's, Wapak, all the way through with Coldwater, and who I'm missing a bunch of them who used to bowl in the WOSBC. And, I mean, state titles are there. They're just a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
And real quick, Phil, we couldn't be doing this without our great friends over at TSC. They gave us, we gave them a call. They bumped up the internet speed for us so that we're able to stream this. So huge thanks to TSC. And if you see them out and about, give them a thank you for us as well. And this is also going to broadcast on the TSC station as well.
Oh, nice.
Alley Cable up here on lane 3 for the girls. Leaving that 10 pin. That was a good shot.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you said, just the carry is tough here.
Just about getting that right angle.
Warnicki here for Wapak. Just kind of crosses over.
You got this, right? Fair enough.
Alley Cable just missed that 10 pin.
And those can be deal breakers there. You know, you look at it at the end of the game and you lost by 4 pins, and you start thinking about all those spares like that. It's like, well, I missed that and blew by that.
McKinley here on 3.
She is shaking them up. That time didn't get the 5 to go though. Nice hard speed. I think she's probably throwing the ball the hardest out of anybody I've seen.
Yeah,
she's got some ball speed on that.
Her ball
baby.
speed's up. I wish they were up on the monitors because.
And she also might be the smallest one of all.
Yeah, we can't even see her over the team. So yeah,
she's the smallest, but yet she has the most. But it's really strange that way. This sport is weird in that you'll see some smaller framed individuals, whether it be guys or girls, and you're like, wow, how do they get that much ball speed and that much turn on the ball? I was watching some of the girls bowl the Lima City singles tournament last Sunday in Lima, and I'm telling you, there's a couple girls that, I don't know, they might weigh 110 pounds soaking wet, and they can get it.
Yes.
They can hook the ball probably more than I and throw it way harder than I. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, where do you generate all of this from?
Yeah, very impressive.
Ball change for Kayla Kaywood there.
Kayla blowing 10 out the back there. That's a good one. Ooh.
Wapak says, I'm going to answer you.
Absolutely.
So that's the end of the fourth frame. St. Mary's, 295. And Wapak 284. So we got a close one, working on some strikes and spares. But for now, we're going to switch over. We're going to head over to the boys match. They're just finishing up the fourth frame right now. And while they finish up that fourth frame, we're going to take this time to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Always put a new roof on my house, but when I do, I call Eric Anderson with Grand Lake Roofing.
If you're looking for a fast, reliable, trustworthy roofing service, give myself and my team a call at Grand Lake Roofing, 567-890-ROOF.
The St. Mary's Memorial High School Alumni Foundation is proud to support St. Mary's athletics. We invite you to become a member of the Alumni Foundation by checking out our website at www.mhsaf.com or checking us out on Facebook. Good luck, Riders.
The importance of quality driver's education for our teams is essential. Capabilities has provided classroom and in-car driving instruction for St. Mary's and surrounding communities for over 20 years. Live classroom and online options are available for our students. Capabilities also administers the Ohio BMV driver's exam for our students and the general public. Contact Capabilities today to learn more about our driver's education services.
Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities of our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is both teams joining together in prayer at the conclusion of the game. God bless you, sports fans.
Hi, I'm Jay Gibson, proud owner of Varsity Lanes since 2003. Visit Varsity Lanes for exceptional fun and mouth-watering food. Opt for our classic ham and cheese or choose from various other delectable options. Every Friday night, join Roughrider fans in the lounge for food, drinks, and St. Mary's football. Can't make it? Takeout and delivery services available. Varsity Lanes is your go-to spot for daily lunch specials and dinner options. Whether you dine in, take out, or opt for delivery, Varsity Lanes, locally owned and operated, and the home of state bowling champions, and where amazing dining meets fun. Tempted? Visit or call us now. Have you made the call yet?
We did!
And we are back here at Astro Lanes in Wapakoneta, Ohio, bringing you now the boys action. Hayden teaming up there on lane 6 for the boys. Now this one I need binoculars for, Phil, because I cannot see the scores at all.
Yeah, we're kind of off to the side there, so we'll have to, maybe one of us will have to take a break and go down and take a picture of it every so often. Hey, there you go.
All right.
So my teammate has the Zoom on his phone in to give us the story. I love it.
Improvise, right?
That is using your noggin right there, Logan.
So right now, going into the 5th frame, St. Mary's is 328 to Wapak's 348.
Okay.
Working on some strikes for St. Mary's. And Wapak's got some strikes up there, some spares up there as well. So yeah, this is tight. This is a tight match on both ends, the girls and the boys. Teeman picks up his spare there. And up here for Wapak. Logan Ferris, I believe, picks his spare up. There he is. Devin Stetler. There's the you talked about it, and it's just holds so true.
Little lefty action there, leaving a shaking 10. Devin Stutler, 185 average, 278 this high game. Going after this 10 pin.
Take it off, Casey. Okay. I'm living proof now. Right your head. T-I-M-E. Time.
Oh, pulled that one right into the right gutter.
And as we know, those spares, that 10 pin looks so small. But we've got to make them.
Ooh, that's a good one there.
Damian Webb, two-hander, crosses over, can't get it to Brooklyn. There's a good run by Wapak. Strike, spare, strike, strike, strike to finish out the fifth frame. Damian Webb picks up his 3-9. Jake Ackroyd up here for St. Mary's.
Shake it off, sis.
Oh, a stone 9 there. That was a good
Solid
shot.
9. And just when you're like, okay, I'm going to get a little more angle on this, we'll carry that 10. Welcome to Wapak.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
There we go again. It's crazy.
So what would you say? Is the play here to get them to shuffle, or is it to pack 10?
You know what? For me, in years past, it has been getting enough angle to pack 10. You will leave an 8 or a 9 every so often, but if you can find a way to get the ball to drive through like that one very similarly, I feel like you're going to have a better chance at Astro Lanes to carry.
To carry and score.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing worse as a bowler to sit there and just 10 pin, 10 pin, 10 pin. I would rather put a couple together, and I would take a stone 8 or 9 over.
If you think about how the ball goes through the pins on a strike, you want the ball when it goes off the back of the deck to split the 8-9. That's
go right
what happens.
through them. Yeah.
Yeah. If you leave a 10 pin, typically the ball deflects and goes straight back at the 9. It falls off the deck. When you leave a 9, the ball obviously has hooked just past it, and it stands there. So
it just kept hooking.
Yeah, right. So every now and then you may leave a 9 if you try to get that angle on the back end, but I feel like that's going to keep you from leaving any more 10s than I don't know normal, which is out of 36 balls, 18 or 19 a day here at Astro. No, not that many, but it's a lot.
And realistically, too, if you're leaving the 10 pin, you're throwing the ball okay. So it is a minor adjustment and I think the last year you and I talked about this, what our move is when we are leaving the 10 pin, and I mean I go a couple right to get out of it. A lot of folks still go backwards.
Yeah. People go back. I've seen guys go forward and try to make themselves slow down. I've seen that. But I'm the same way. I will literally try to parallel 1 and 1 right.
Yep.
Just to try to get the ball through the pocket just a little stronger.
Right, and I feel it may read a little bit earlier.
And I say I parallel 1 and 1 right. It does depend on the lane condition. Sometimes I find out that maybe just moving my mark a board or two right and keeping my feet the same place might create that angle for me too. That's another possibility. It just depends on how the lanes are playing.
So many variables in bowling, and you've got to find what works for you at the end of the day. I don't like changing balls. If I don't have to, I don't want to. I'll make the moves until I absolutely can't have that ball in my hand. So, I mean, heck, I'm throwing.
You're old school in that.
Hey, I'll take it. I'm still throwing a ball from 2016. I just don't buy new stuff. It works. Oh, there's a replay-worthy strike.
All right. You haven't asked me how old some of the equipment in my bag is.
Caught it there in the top right corner. Here's another angle of it. Sorry, the guy hitting the buttons, it was myself. Hit the wrong one. Little Brooklyn style and a bunch of shuffling pins and say we'll take it though, right? Match like this. Damian Webb up here on lane 5. I think he's the lone two-hander for St. Mary's.
So, with certain coaches will lean towards one style or another. Has Coach Ross been one to embrace the two-handers, or does he encourage one-handed bowling?
You know, I think it's athlete by athlete.
Yeah.
If it's definitely more capable to score, I mean, I'm looking back at last year's roster with Caden Ballwig, who led the WBL in points, average. You know, somebody like him, great cover there by Damian.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think Scott is one of those, what's going to better you for now, the team, and he'll work with it. Here's a good cover by Damian Webb here on lane 5.
Oh, that's awesome. Very good.
And, I mean, Scott and I, we talk a lot of bowling.
Yeah.
We talk a lot of golf. And that's honestly a topic that's never really been brought up.
I've worked with coaches that are completely against the two-handed style. I've worked with coaches that, in the college world, that wouldn't recruit people that bowled two-handed. Myself, I'm like, you know what? There's a little bit of case history that seems to be working more and more nowadays. I wouldn't steer away from it, but I will tell you that if I were a coach, and maybe it wasn't communicated, but maybe this is why, but if I were a coach, I wouldn't know how to coach a two-handed bowler. I wouldn't know what to say or how to because I've not been there and done that. You know, I wouldn't. I can say some of the right things, but there are pieces of their game that I have no experience at.
And I think the best you can do is just sit there and think about timing.
Yeah, right.
Is that what you work on the most? Probably.
Sure. No, I think that, there are pieces. I shouldn't say I couldn't coach one, but I will say that it would definitely be a new endeavor for me, and I would probably need to be studying a lot to figure out the different facets of what's really going on with that game.
It would be a fun challenge to endeavor and aid and team in there. But, I don't think I could figure out how to do it. Have you ever tried bowling two-handed?
I threw the ball about 8 miles an hour, and it took off the 7-pin, and I never tried it again.
But like you did say, it's evolving to that is the best way to throw the bowling ball if you want to score and you want to get pins to fall.
Oh, yeah. there's many lane conditions where, I might be bowling on and it's like, I'm just leaving weak stuff. I'm leaving flat 10s. I'm leaving switch 7s. And it doesn't matter what I do. Nice spare there from Aiden. Averages 187 for the Riders. So, I'm in a situation where I can't quite get the ball to get through the pins. I'm like, if I could just generate a few more revs, I could play the same area of the lane, and it would get through the pins.
Right.
And how could I do that? Well, two-handed would be a really good way to do it.
And you said something about lane conditions, and I'm going to pull up. For the bowlers out there, we're going to talk about house shot. It's a little easier, more forgiving. What the boys and girls are bowling on today is the OHSAA sectional and district tournament.
Oh, so this is not even the house shot. This is the first time I heard this. Okay.
So if you can just kind of go through and explain a little bit for the viewers at home what this graph is actually meaning.
Yeah, so if you take a look at it, the pattern distance is 41 feet. And you're looking at 28 milliliters of oil, which isn't an incredible amount on a wood surface. 28 mill. I know people for their house shots that put out 31 and 32 milliliters of oil. What that really means, being 41 feet, and I'm looking, it's a pretty standard condition. So there is something that's called the rule of 31. And what that means is if you take the total length of the oil pattern and subtract 31 from it, you end up with 10. That is the point where your ball should be coming out of the oil pattern. So on a 41-foot pattern with a pretty standard volume, your ball would want to be at about the 10th board at 41 feet. That's what you want. Now, there's many ways to get there. Early in the day, a path a little straighter to it. Maybe, laying the ball down at 13, 12, and swinging it to 10. If you're a straighter player, maybe it's 10 at the front and 10 down lane. It's straight at it. You could do that too. But then as the pattern breaks down and opens up, what you'll find is that oil that is concentrated a little heavier from like the seventh board in. You'll see that track like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 start to dry out. So that means then that the bowler will want to get in and have their ball meet the exit of that oil pattern where that track is depleted. So,
yep.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden you end up later in the day sometimes with a little easier condition, because if you can ride that line, if you pull a ball in a little bit into the oil, it will slide and still make it to the pocket. But yet if you feed it out to the right where it's a little drier, it may come back and still hit the pocket too. And it may dry out to the point where that's hooking too hard if you miss right. So then, it's all about angles and a release that gets you to the proper break point. That's what it is.
And in bowling, we talk about building miss room. That one he got in.
Yeah.
Went left, went Brooklyn. We'll take it. But building that miss room, when Phil's talking about moving in, that just means for a bowler we're moving left. Moving our feet left and opening the shot up, meaning more left to right with the ball, but still trying to get it to that spot at the end of the pattern. So.
I watched Eli Van Meter throw that ball there, and he threw that just like maybe he's bowled 4,000 games in the last 6 months. He's like so confident. I'm like, yep, this boy has definitely bowled a few games in this center. I'm sure of it, as probably a lot of them have, but Eli has a little connection here at Astro Lanes, so.
That's right, and he's a great bowler, but just because Dad's proprietor, it doesn't just make him a great bowler. He's out here and he's practicing and working.
You got to work at it. It is directly proportional, Logan, the amount of time that you spend doing this is directly proportional to how good you're going to be. Plain and simple, and I've lived it. That's just the way it is. If you are bowling a bunch, like there's been times in my life, Logan, where I was bowling 100 games a week. You know, I worked in a bowling alley. I bowled 10 sanctioned leagues one year when I was 20 years old.
Goodness.
10. And I practiced every bit as much as I bowled in league. And my goal was to get better. And I did. And I've seen different periods in life where I'm not bowling as much, and my scores reflect it.
Right.
It's like any sport. The more you do it, the more muscle memory you develop, and the better you're going to be at it.
And if that doesn't tell you anything, folks, this game's not easy. If you want to be 200-plus average bowler, you've got to do it more. The more you do it, the better off you're going to be.
All right, trip that 4 out of there. Left just the 9.
Looks like Aiden Tiemann washed that out. Left the 1-2. Sorry, yeah, the 1-2, 4-10. Going in here, we're starting the 8th frame for the boys. Wapak's up 629 to 591. Working on some strikes, double there for St. Mary's.
Aiden
There's some
just
doubles.
picked that up too.
Let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Good shot, Aiden. Devin Stutler here for St. Mary's.
Hey, that's a good one.
Also, too, this camera view is being brought to you by Astro Lanes. We tapped into their cameras. The Wapak Athletic Boosters Clubs is the one who put these cameras in for Brian here at the center. And when we walked in here to kind of take a look around on how we're going to set up and this and that, we got the okay from Brian. Why don't we just use those? And that's what we're doing. And fantastic shots. And I just want to say thank you to the Wapak Athletic Booster Club for doing this for this bowling center, because these parents, it's hard to see over top of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
These bowlers don't sit down. And actually, they don't even have chairs out because they know they're not going to sit. They're here. Yeah. They're going to be in the match the whole time.
I don't see any parents with the old periscopes.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you remember the slogan from the college days?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They were like periscopes. Like you could stand in the crowd, but yet it would tower over everybody, and just like being in a submarine.
Right. And you see over top, and it was a good view, too. It's not like it was.
I haven't seen those in a few years. I don't know if those are still around.
Oh, I'm sure they are. That or the ladders just get taller and taller.
Right. Oh, my goodness. I have watched matches in situations like this with my phone, like holding it way up above my head.
There's the new periscope, yeah. Yeah, so you're going to see people in the virtual eyeglasses with their phones up on a stick, and they're going to be watching from their phone with those goggles on. So Jake Ackroyd there on lane 5.
Okay, so Jake, on a house shot, you can open up a lot of times and get the ball to the dry right, and it's going to hook back and come close to the pocket. Well, that one got away from him.
Right.
He just shoved it into that oil. On a house shot, that normally would hook back, but today it falls off into the gutter.
Right, we call that out of bounds, and it definitely hit the out of bounds and just sailed off, and that's a mental lapse too.
It becomes, when you know you've got that out of bounds right, it is a, I don't want to say it, it is a burden on some mentally until you figure out how to maneuver those, because a lot of times what it will do then, okay, so he just sent that ball way right and it did what it did. A lot of bowlers, the next time they go up now, they're going to really pull it. They're going to be afraid to feed it to the spot. You still have to feed it to the spot, just not right of the spot.
As
which
quick
is where he
and
was.
right of it, yeah.
Exactly.
Will
That's a
Ross
nice
here
tight
on
shot
5.
there for Will. Yeah.
Man.
Very good shot, but didn't quite get through the pins. Leaves that flat 10.
Is that Eli? Eli was up on 6.
Eli, of course, comes from bowling family. His dad, Brian Van Meter, owner here at Astro Lanes. I've bowled with Brian for the better part of, I don't know, 35 years maybe. Just a dynamite guy. And then also his sister Bailey is bowling in the college world right now.
Beautiful. Where's she bowling at?
She is in Michigan, trying to think of the program.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked right away.
No, I can picture their head coach, Doug Spicer. What is the name of that program? I'd have to do a little searching here and see. But
we'll find that out. We'll bring that back. Yeah. And also, too, speaking of Brian, he's let us come in here 2 times, just kind of scope the place out, let us use his cameras up there that the Booster Club donated to the bowling team, and also met me over here this morning at about 9 a.m. and let me get going to get things set up. Aiden teaming, throwing a strike and getting loud. St. Mary's is down a little bit. Going to try to boost their egos up here to just throw good shots. Baby split there by Caleb Miller for Wapak.
Concordia.
Well, best of luck to Bailey up there. And what is she, a freshman college?
No, I think she may be a junior or senior. We'll have to ask Brian if he stops by.
Yeah, we're hoping Brian stops over. We've got a few guest commentators stopping in here with us tonight. Both the boys and girls are boys starting their 9th frame. Girls are almost finished with their 9th frame. We'll jump back over to the girls here shortly. They've got a tight one going on right now. 6:30 St. Mary's, 5:89 Wapak. Coaches are coming up with a game plan in between every shot. Wapak answers with a strike after St. Mary's third strike spare. I tell you what, Phil, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to jump back over. We'll start with the girls, starting with the 10th frame for them.
All right, sounds good.
Ready to be both amused and amazed by ventriloquist Taylor Mason. This is a show your family won't want to miss. See the magic come to life live at the Grand on Sunday, February 23rd at 6 p.m. Purchase your tickets at grandoperahouselive.com.
One of America's funniest storytellers returns live to the Grand on Friday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. Comedian Jeff Allen is back with a hilarious celebration of humility and redemption. Reserve your seat today at grandoperahouselive.com.
And we're back here. Astro Lanes, Rider Nation Station. I'm Logan Yelton. Alongside me is Phil Austin. Girls are starting their 10th frame right now. Braylee Mullins here for St. Mary's on lane 3.
Pull that up a little bit, goes Brooklyn. What she'll do is go to the left, probably a little cross lane, and straight at that 6-pin.
There we see Doug Spencer on the very far left. He's going to help us out here to get that down lane camera right on the ladies for us.
Oh, gotcha.
Braylee Mullins, just like you said, double tapper.
Yep, picked it up the way she should.
Big strike there by, is that Warnicki? No, Kaylee Hyde. Riley kind of crossed over there. 5-pin standing for her. Good game. 173. Delaney Wireman for Wapak, shot 147. Another strike for Kaylee Hyde.
You can see the score there. What's Kaylee strike out for here?
Kaylee Hyde going to strike out for 172, I believe.
Okay. Gotcha. Kaylee, sophomore. She likes her Rhino Pro.
Rhino Pro.
Ball, yep. That's dating back into my heyday.
Yeah, is that a remake?
Yeah, they come out with a bunch of new ones, yeah. Unless she's throwing her dad's ball from 1994.
Hey.
Which could be.
Right, definitely could be. Kylie Smith picks that spare up for St. Mary's. We're going to keep it here with the girls to finish up this 10th frame, see where they come out to be. We'll kind of update a little bit on the boys' score as well. Great game by Miss Hyde there, 170.
Yeah, very nice.
Kylie Smith. This is where a lot of pins are made up, Phil.
Oh, it sure is. So we got Allie Cable up for St. Mary's, and on the Wapak side, looks like that's Riley Warnicki.
Warnicki, yep.
Leaving a piece of the bucket there.
There's that out of bounds we were talking about when we were talking with the boys.
Oh, yeah.
It just stays out there.
She ain't coming back. Riley not quite getting it over to the 2-5 pocket and just takes the 5 straight back. There
Good
we go.
cover by Allie Cable there.
Now, Allie, throw your strike shot here for the fill ball in the 10th, just like you did that spare shot.
Exactly. And then they're all going to go down. So Sophia. Almost turning the corner there.
Got that one out a little as well.
Sophia Rupert Hecht.
Nice stroke.
Covers her spare with ease. McKinley here for St. Mary's on 3. That's good shots. Oh.
Yeah. See, I think you're starting to see a little transition and a little carry down in that area where her ball was coming up and shaking the pins up earlier and would get a strike. Now it's not quite turning the corner. She's going to have to probably, I don't know if she's got a ball that might hook just a tad more, or if she could get her feet just a little right and lay the ball in the same spot.
That's probably what she's looking for right there.
Yeah, that ball rolled up. So she'll take one more shot here.
And these are always important shots, these fill ball shots. You can always take something from them.
Absolutely.
Schnarry elects to step back. Let McKinley finish this up.
Okay. She's got that about the right area. There you go. Nice pocket hit. Astro Lane's 10 pin. Callie's at 278 for her highest game ever. She's averaging 163. There you go.
That was a really good shot by Auburn Schnarry. Kaylee Kaywood here.
Ooh. Oh, that one. That's one that you lose your breath on. It's like, ooh, that's a great shot. The 7-9 stands right up there. It stares at you for just a second, and then, no, I'll fall.
Oh, my heart stopped there for a second. I'm not even throwing the ball.
Yeah, I was like, that was a really good shot to leave a 7-9, but it happens. There we go.
It's a double there.
These girls are figuring out how to get the corner out, though. That's good.
I think they're listening to the broadcast, Phil.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I didn't notice. Do they have little earphones in? Could be. Could be.
Good shot there by
really
Kaywood.
Nice shot.
Right now, Schnarry can strike out for 174, which would put Wapak at 768. She leaves a 7-pin. Sorry about that. I got caught up in the moment there for not clicking the button. Kaywood here to polish off this game with the 10-pin. Good cover.
Nice spare. They have spent some time practicing spares, I can tell.
Definitely.
That's a really good, solid spare shot.
So St. Mary's ends that game 820. Wapak 767. And let's talk about the format a little bit while we have a break here.
Sure.
Format being 2 regular games. And then after these 2 regular games, we're going to jump into 5 Baker games. So it's not like a match play. That match win doesn't mean anything, but they're up pins, right?
Right.
So they're up about 50 right here, and just got to keep pressing on if you're wanting to win this match. We're going to pop over here to the boys. We're going to finish up with them. They're finishing their 10th frame right now. Let me pull my binoculars out here, Phil.
That is outstanding. He's blowing up the whole shot with his phone right now.
Some big scores over there. Tyler Neely strikes out for 258.
I want people to see this here. There he is with his binoculars. Thank you very much. All right.
Oh, that was good. Tyler Neely for 258 with this strike.
All right.
Great game.
That's good. He's got a nice look there.
Good shot there by Ackroyd.
Yep.
Ackroyd finishes with 178.
There's Van Meter.
Kind of grabby there at the bottom on that one, maybe, yeah?
The last 2 shots I've seen Eli throw, they've hooked a little early. I feel like he needs to be just a hair left and feeding it out to that break point.
It's already opened up enough to be able to do that.
And the lanes are transitioning, and maybe that's what's getting him.
There's a good shot by Will. Just couldn't get that one to corner.
Leaving a 2-pin there. And these conditions are tricky. I mean, they are tricky. And then, on top of that, you go into a center that doesn't carry so well, and it's a feat. It is a feat. Will Ross going after the 2-pin. He is hooking it off the strike target. I wondered how many of these kids actually just throw really hard and straight. It looked like Eli did take a step left there on that last shot.
Right, that looked
fed
really
a little
good.
right. He'll be lined up for next game.
So that leaves Vandermeter with a 182, and that finishes Wapak's game of 972. Will's going to finish up here for St. Mary's. Strikes here for 165, for 861 for St. Mary's, but this kind of cornered. You see what ball Will's throwing? Can you tell?
I cannot. Absolutely. Really, Logan? Haven't I explained my vision to you?
I'm going to keep asking you, and then one day it'll hit.
Yep. I can tell you what his favorite ball is. I don't know if he's actually throwing his favorite ball, but I can look that up. Will is throwing, I don't know, but his favorite ball would be a blood red melee jab.
The melee jab.
Yes. And that's not blood red what he's throwing.
So that's got to be the purple hammer then, is my guess.
Is that he's throwing a urethane ball?
Yep.
Okay.
That would be my guess. Well, we'll take a quick break here, Phil. We'll let them rack them and stack them again, and we will be right back right after these messages.
All right.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities of our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is both teams joining together in prayer at the conclusion of the game. God bless you, sports fans.
Hi, I'm Jay Gibson, proud owner of Varsity Lanes since 2003. Visit Varsity Lanes for exceptional fun and mouth-watering food. Opt for our classic ham and cheese or choose from various other delectable options. Every Friday night, join Roughrider fans in the lounge for food, drinks, and St. Mary's football. Can't make it? Takeout and delivery services available. Varsity Lanes is your go-to spot for daily lunch specials and dinner options. Whether you dine in, take out, or opt for delivery, Varsity Lanes, locally owned and operated, and the home of state bowling champions, and where amazing dining meets fun. Tempted? Visit or call us now. Have you made the call yet?
We did! St. Mary's traditions include football, SMAB, and Fowler's TV. Founded in 1957 by Richard and Peggy, Fowler's TV is celebrated, like a Roughrider first down, for its dedication to high-quality electronics, custom installations of indoor and outdoor TVs, Sonos sound systems, surveillance systems, and so much more. With 12 months of special financing available on approved credit, shopping local has never been better. Fowler's knowledgeable and friendly staff uphold the tradition of exceptional customer care, servicing only what they sell with the same or next day service.
Explore Jackalope Stash Men's Clothing Store located in downtown St. Mary's for all of your men's clothing needs. Here at this brick and mortar haberdashery, you will find clothing needs for every formal or informal occasion, making any man who shops at Jackalope Stash the best dressed in the room. Do you have an upcoming wedding, dance, or date night? Get fitted for a dapper tuxedo or fashionable suit. Quality, style, stash. Jackalope Stash. Visit us online, or better yet, come see us in downtown St. Mary's, where riders shop.
And speaking of great teams, St. Mary's Foundry would like to thank its very own team of hardworking employees for their loyalty and dedication. If you're looking for rewarding challenges and first-string wages and benefits, check us out at stmfoundry.com or on hometownopportunities.com. St. Mary's Foundry, where iron and ingenuity meet.
I'm Larry Gruber, longtime educator and St. Mary's wrestling coach. If you're in need for any electrical upgrades, whether big or small, for your business or home, reach out to Sean Barnett Electrical at 567-259-8343. Wondering what it would cost to have a generator for your home or business? Contact Sean Barnett Electrical for a complimentary estimate for installation and yearly maintenance. Trying to do electrical work on your own can be shocking and painful. I'm in Sean's corner, and Sean will be in yours for all your electrical needs.
And welcome back here to Astro Lanes with Rider Nation Station. We have just found a very special guest commentator, Mr. Denny.
Special, I don't know about if that's the correct word you want to use for that, you guys, but
Denny Borger.
Thanks for allowing me to come over here. Great seeing both of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Great seeing both of you guys.
Hey, it's awesome. So Denny Borger, longtime owner of Astro Lanes here in Wapakoneta, and one of the original architects of the Wapakoneta bowling program here.
Actually, Phil, if you can go back to probably about the early 2000s, my brother-in-law and I, Liney Harding's over at Playmore Lanes in Coldwater, we were witnessing in the Toledo area. They had this huge high school program that was consistent for a long time of 60-some teams that they would have bowling on either Saturday or Sunday mornings. Don't know what for sure it was. And we kind of got together with some of the other area proprietors and thought, why can't we start something up like that in our area? And through a couple of meetings, kind of put something together. And we would like to think that maybe we're an integral part of starting the high school bowling program through that. And of course, as you can see right here, all you got to do is look around, and there's nothing better, right, Logan, than St. Mary's Wapakoneta High School bowling match on a Thursday night. Look at it, the place is packed.
It's packed. When we got the call when I brought this up to Doug and Rich to do this match, I haven't been thinking about it ever since. And I think that was on November 4th when that was first day of practice for everybody. And I've been so excited to be able to come here and broadcast this from Astro Lanes. St. Mary's Wapak, there's nothing better than bowling.
And we'd love to have you. Glad that you're here. And one of the things that we all would agree upon is that in the bowling community in the high school level, you just can't get too many better programs than the St. Mary's Wapak program has had for many of the years.
We've talked about that. All the state titles that are with these programs. You mentioned one of the other superpowers in the state of Ohio bowling, and that was Coldwater.
Most certainly. Nick does a heck of a job over there.
And it's incredible thinking about what you built. Denny, do you know about what year you put everything together?
I think if it has to be, if I can recall back into the early 2000s, I would be thinking. I know when it first started, it never got to become an official high school sport.
Sure.
What's the word they use now that they use to where it's not high school sport, but it's still involved in high school
club sport?
It started as a club sport, and if my memories are back to where I can, is if you look at the sign that we got posted out there, and I think that boys 2004-2005 state championship was the last year of the club sport, and we won the state title on that as the club sport.
Okay.
And I do think the following year that it became an official high school sport.
Very nice.
If my memory serves me correctly.
Now that would be about right as far as the timing of everything. But yeah, just an awesome thing to do, and I grew up in the 80s,
right,
in school or whatever, and boy, do I wish that they had bowling programs like this when I was
most certainly, and I hear that quite a bit. But let's even go back a little bit farther on that thinking, Phil. Is that look on down the lane here, which is out of our area, but there's another high school match going on down there between Waynesfield and Ansonia.
Oh yeah.
Now, you can go back to 2004 and 2005 and tell Waynesfield and Ansonia, you think at any time the high school bowling program will be in existence in your community in the school systems, and I guarantee you there ain't one guy, there is not one guy back there that would have said, what, high school bowling in Waynesfield, high school bowling in Ansonia? Ain't going to happen. Well, guess what? There they are. And there's a nice crowd down there watching those guys participate.
And that is happening because you laid the groundwork, because they were able to see the huge success that this has become, and they're like, we want to be a part of that.
Yeah. when good things happen and it starts to spread around, and the best thing to happen is someone may say, well, why can't we do that? Why can't this be in our program? And believe you me, when the kids go up to the superintendents or the athletic directors or the hierarchy of the school system and say, they're doing it over there, why can't we have it? They listen to that.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't take long to where it just spreads and it just continues to grow. I don't think it has stopped growing, and it is continuing to grow, which is proof is where they divided it into 2 divisions now. You know, at first it was just 1 division. Now they have the small school and the large school division.
Yeah.
So
there's
great things.
There's 2 parts of this bowling game. You know, there's bowling as an entertainment on a couple different levels. You know, guys coming out, having a few cold ones and having fun and bowling with their team, or maybe it's bringing the kids out for a birthday party on Saturday and that sort of thing. That's bowling as entertainment. But us 3 here all are incredible fans of bowling as a sport, and that's on a completely different level. And you're getting these kids involved at that level, and hopefully they'll carry that through. You know, we've seen so many people come out of these high school programs and be incredible in the college programs, and incredible adult bowlers going out. And, you know, I'll use Anthony Kennard here in Wapakoneta as a great example. You know, high school bowler, come out of Wapakoneta, dominated for UNOH when he bowled there.
Yep.
Got out of that. He now has PBA titles to his accolades.
Yeah, he was actually Rookie of the Year in the regional division for a couple years back.
So that was, you know, that's just one example. But this program to me is what it's all about. It doesn't get any better.
Well, one of the things, Phil, and we've discussed this, and you've been involved in this when you were a kid growing up. That had been that long ago.
Right.
But one of the things that materializes when it gets to this point is that both programs have a youth program at the bowling center that is top notch, and that's where it starts. You know, you just can't grab a group of people from the high school level at freshman age and says, hey, we're going to start a bowling program. You want to bowl? You got to start at the youth. Like any other athletic activity, you got to start at the younger age to get them developed. And that's why St. Mary's and Wapak, in my opinion, have been so successful throughout the course of the years, is through that youth program.
Yeah.
So as long as that stays in existence, I think we're going to be in good shape.
And now you're seeing middle school and junior high programs.
Most certainly,
here, right? Yeah.
Most certainly. And if you ever go to a junior high traveling match, which both conferences have. WBL has one, and over at Mercer County has one, and they're usually held on a Sunday afternoon. Well, you can't get in the door.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
that's incredible.
It is packed city, and the reaction that you get from the kids that are bowling are second to none. And the other neat thing that is so neat, and you can see it as you just span out here, watch the camaraderie between the schools. Even though they're competing against each, believe you me, the bowlers from the St. Mary's knows the bowlers from Wapakoneta, both guys and gals.
And that adds to another equation too, is their travel leagues, that their high school travel leagues, where they're traveling south to Dayton, traveling up to Toledo, all over the state of Ohio on 75, and they're not only building that rapport with those other bowlers for the state, but they're also competing against the same kids they're going to be competing against all year long in the WBL and the MAC, everything like that.
And you know, when they see them guys out and about, they know who they are.
Right.
You know, they go up to them, they talk to them. You may see them at one of the holiday tournaments over the weekend in Dayton. All of a sudden, you see this guy over here from St. Mary's talking to this guy from Corey Wausau or wherever. You know, pretty amazing. Amazing.
I can tell you that those relationships, sometimes you end up finding your best friends that way. You know,
no question about
guys
that.
from 4 cities away, from 50 miles away. You know, all of a sudden you're seeing them at bowling tournaments, and before long you end up with a great friendship.
Right,
you know,
they're going to nationals together at some point.
Yeah, right.
Just USBC nationals as junior bowlers, and saying through the years, keep in contact, and now you're building these tournament teams because you're all good bowlers.
So Logan, you got the eyes. Tell me what we're seeing so far on the score for this match.
Let me grab my binoculars here.
I gotta get a shot of Logan with the binoculars. There he is, right there. That's how we see the score here today.
So going into the third frame for the boys.
Yep.
Wapak 175, St. Mary's 152. Working on some strikes, spares for St. Mary's, and Wapak, same thing, strikes and spares. So this one's going to be close. St. Mary's is down 114 on the boys' side.
I seen where on that first match with St. Henry and Wapak on the boys' side, Tyler Neely from Wapak strung about 5 or 6 in a row right at the end of the game. So I think he snuck out like a 250.
250, yeah, he was
258 match. Now, for those of you listening, you have to recall, both you guys I'm sure are aware of, that on the oil pattern that they have in today's match, that the league admitted of combining a program to where everybody's running the same type of pattern, and it's basically it's not really what they call a house pattern. There's a little challenge to it.
Absolutely.
So
we talked about that just a little bit ago.
So
yeah.
with
he has it up on the screen right there.
Posted right there. So with the young man shooting a 258, that's no fluke on that, baby. That guy just rolled one very good bowling game. So let's see if he can continue.
And he just started with the first 3.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Denny, though, one of the things that we've talked about today is how unique Astro Lanes is in the fact that it is a very difficult center to carry consistently. Sometimes you can have a lane condition out here where you can hit the pocket pretty easily. But to get all 10 pins to fall multiple times in a row, that's the trick. If you can figure that out here, that's... that's
and
where
you
it
see
is.
Eli Van Meter there is exactly what you just talked about. 10 in the pit and hammered those ones back.
And
so.
he has moved his starting position just a little left, and now he's feeding it to the right because that area of the lane where he was playing started to dry up, and now it's actually going to probably create a little bit of area for him that he didn't have.
You're probably right,
the first
Phil.
game.
With the machines technology today, that back end of that lane gets so clean, and once that oil kind of travels down that lane, it creates a little bit of a holding pattern that isn't there at the beginning.
Sure.
And it kind of develops, so you're probably going to see scores might get a little bit higher, which is pretty common in this day of age with our technology.
Absolutely. So when we talk about, was it? Let's see here. The Wapakoneta boy, it was Tyler, you said, that had the 250.
Tyler Neely.
Yes. So he's a lefty.
Yeah.
He has no traffic over there. He's doing all that himself. He's not getting any help with the lanes breaking down.
And he also converted to two-handed. So I don't know if you guys brought that up in your conversation at some point in time.
So he used to be one-handed.
He was one-handed a few years back.
Okay.
And in today's environment.
Yep.
That's where
it is to me it's the winning way.
No question about it. No question about it.
Watching these guys, if I were to learn to bowl today, I would love to do it. I did tell Logan that I tried it. I threw one ball.
I tried it
I
also.
threw it about 9 miles an hour. It took the 7 pin off, and I abandoned it.
But if you were 12 years old and your father was doing like he did when you were 12 years old in today's environment, he would say, Phil, we're going to try this two-handed, and believe you me, that would have been the way to. That's the way it is.
Yep, absolutely, no question. The point where I was growing up, they just had coined the term cranker. And that was when Mark Roth and those guys in the late 70s and early 80s started coming out. Before then, all the guys kind of just threw the ball
straight
down the lane, and then it would hook on the back.
Yeah.
These crankers would stand way left and, do basically what you see the pros do every single weekend if you watch the tour.
Yeah.
It's evolved. The game has evolved so much.
As you guys were growing up, when was the first time that you saw the two-handed style?
To me, it was probably, I'd say 2004, 2005. The first two-hander I watched bowl and do it well was Oscar Palermo. You know Oscu?
I do.
He did it before Jason Belmonte.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, he did it before Jason Belmonte. And he was pretty good at it, but then Belmonte just took it and went nuts with it.
Yeah. And, the funny thing it is, if you've ever listened to the story about Belmonte, that the two-handed motion wasn't the fact that he was there to prove his game. It's just when he started, he was so young, he just couldn't throw the ball hard enough with one hand. So somebody come up with the idea of, well, let's just put it out there and shove it down there with the two-handed motion instead of the pushing motion that it used to be when the kids were young. They pushed it. He came up with somehow to where they uses that follow-through that he has now and kept with it throughout the course of his whole career. What a career he has had.
Oh, yeah. And his walk to the line is still, in my book, every bit as smooth as the smoothest one-handed bowler.
Yeah.
He looks smooth as silk doing that. Now, there's some of the two-handers.
That's what they kind of called me when I was
pretty good
smooth.
That's I said that many times about you, Denny, while you were out here kicking my butt.
I heard that. Going back to the Astro lanes as far as scoring environment, which when you were in league play and we were jostling around trying to knock them down, and you still hear this today. Even last night was out here, league night, men's night, and you hear boom, solid 10-pin, boom, solid 10-pin, and all you hear, welcome to Astro Lane.
I've said that about 3 times on some of these kids' hits today. Yes, absolutely right.
Up here is Tyler Neely. He's going to go for a ham bone here, 4 in a row. Coming off that 258 game, he is still on fire.
No question.
One thing, you guys, if I remember correctly, he finished with the last 5.
Oh, wow. And there
we go.
Welcome
we
to
just talked
Astro
about.
Lanes. That's it right
Yeah,
there.
so he strung, what he had, the front 3 there? So he strung 8 in a row.
Yep, 8 in a row there.
Okay, question for you young guys. Here's the question.
I'm going to step back there.
Here's the question. Okay, what do you call, it's a 300 if it's 12 strikes in a row. What do you call when you run like maybe the last 5 and then the next 7 in the next game? What do you call that, Logan? What do you call that?
I'm excited to say this.
I think Phil probably knows what that is.
Andy Varapapa.
There you go.
Yes, I'm impressed, Logan.
All right, there you go.
One of the greatest trick shot guys, too,
There you go.
of his day, yeah.
You ever watch the YouTube videos that are archived of him?
Yes.
And
that's the
cool.
reason the only reason I know that.
I'm impressed with that.
And I'm not going to lie, Coach Jay Gibson, he's the one who taught me that from just being around him all the time growing up in the bowling alley. So, yeah. Those YouTube videos are something else, and I'm guarantee I'm going to go home tonight and probably watch them just because I haven't seen them in so long.
There's Eli striping it right up the second arrow, just a little too far right. Maybe that lane isn't hooking quite as much as that right lane.
Once that oil gets carried down, Phil, once she carries down and you lose that little bit on that back end, and if you don't have the room to the right, if you miss a few boards to right, just don't quite make it to the pocket, and there's what you're looking at, the 2-4 or the 2-4-5 combination. Let's see if he can make it. He shoots it the right way. He goes hard and straights at it.
Yep.
And then he hooked that one.
But, I will say this, that when you do that on a condition like this, at least in my mind, it is on a house shot, I know exactly what I'm going to do to make the adjustment. On this, I may not be able to do what I would do on a house shot. So then I'm thinking, okay, is it a little more with my wrist? Is it a different ball? Is it a slower speed? And it's sometimes difficult to find that right combination.
Phil, one of the things, and Logan, I'm sure you can attest to this, one of the things that I believe is that our programs are the way they are, has been in the success area, is on our coaching aspect of things. The coaches, both Jay and Brandon with the Wapak squad, they get into these guys that you got to pay attention to when you're bowling, not only on your first shot, but how your ball may react on your second shot.
Sure.
And understand the reading of the lanes, how that ball reacted to where if you move right, what's going to happen, if you move left, what's going to happen. And both of these guys do that extremely well. Instead of just saying, stand here and throw it there, they understand. They got to know, why is that? Why didn't that ball come up a little bit more? Why did we go Brooklyn on that shot?
Yeah. Those guys, they can analyze that.
They analyze that.
And passing that on to these teams that's what branded us so well. And of course, his brother Anthony is lapping the field in Lima right now in the Lima City Singles Tournament, which is a fairly difficult pattern. There were 150 or 160 people that bowled the tournament. For the first round, I think there were only 9 guys that averaged over 200.
So that tells you.
And it's still, there might be, now that they've bowled another 8 games after the second round, there might be 15 guys that are averaging over 200, and Anthony is averaging 220.
One thing about Anthony, Phil, and you know, that young man, he can play any part of the lane. If he needs to go up to the outside and throw a little straighter, he can do that.
Yeah.
And nobody is as good around him, except for maybe yourself, to where if he can go inside the 4th arrow, and still play. He's pretty good at there. He's pretty good in there.
And you know, the edge that he brings these days is youth. You know, to be able to play some of those angles, you need a substantial amount of ball speed.
You do, yeah.
And, you know, get to my age, it's hard to create. I mean, when you're 45, it just starts to slip.
Yeah.
You believe that, Logan?
I think it's hard to create at 33, so.
You didn't question the 45, Denny. That's
I believe that. No, sorry. I did miss that. I'm sorry. And we jumped over here to the girls' side. After the boys, their first 4th frame, or through the 4th frame, Wapak's up right now 355 to 300. So that match is going, and going to take this time as we made that switch to the girls. Great shot there by Kaywood. Want to take this time to thank TSC yet again here in Wapak for bringing us the boosted internet so that we can provide this broadcast to you. So thank you so much, TSC. Couldn't do it without you. Girls match right now, Wapak and St. Mary's. It is close, 468 to 4. Oh goodness, glasses. 485. Girls,
close match.
Yeah, going into this second game here with the girls, St. Mary's is up 53 pins. So, you know, we're getting ready to hit these Baker matches, and that's a whole nother
It's cool.
obstacle.
Isn't it amazing on the Baker matches is once these matches, as neat as these things are, once the Baker starts, the rise in the excitement just drops up, goes up about 3 or 4 notches.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not only in the bowlers, but in the fans and everything. Yeah, they like the Baker matches.
Absolutely. And, I mean, there's so many pins that can be gained. You know, it takes one small game from one team, and then the next thing you know, the other team's right back in it.
No question.
And to lay it out, if anybody's in question what a Baker match is, what happens is, of course, right now, every bowler bowls their own game individually. When we go to a Baker match, the way it works is there's basically just one bowler up there, and the first bowler will bowl the 1st and the 6th frame. The second bowler will bowl the 2nd and the 7th frame, and so on and so forth. But there's really just one game up there on the screen. So that entire total could be 300, where, you know, now you've got 1,500 as a possible total for the whole team.
And I say those pins are quickly gained because if a team does shoot 200 and the opponent shoots 150, that's 50 pins gained in one game.
Ooh, that's a little shaker there.
Did you see that? You see how she threw that?
Two-handed.
Two-handed.
Yeah. Hey, Denny, I will tell you, Logan, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen some videos of some young ladies that are two-handed it, and they're pretty powerful. And, you know, where for years there was always the argument, you know, the guys can just get more revolutions on the ball or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be the case in another 10 years.
Yeah.
Because the girls strapping it up two-handed like that, they can get the ball to react.
I just seen here, Phil, I was just watching on lane 4 there, the St. Mary's girl. If you just look at their scores, Logan, look at the strikes start stringing up. The gal that just bowled before, the two-hander, that's her 4th in a row. And then the third bowler came up, and she had a mixer and just actually spreaded the pins all over for a double, and now the next lady up, leaves a 10 pin, and she was on a double. So
right, put those together.
They're making a little charge here.
And that two-hander for St. Mary's is Hannah Jennerette. Sorry.
Has she been doing that long? Do you know?
I believe it started this year.
Just started.
Yep.
Yeah.
McKinley up here on 3 for 10. She throws those so confidently.
She really does. She has the most ball speed probably out of anybody out here today.
There, the thing is, again, did you witness that? Did you witness that? She throws and leaves the 10 pin, and what does she do? Pick a spare ball up that goes relatively straight, throws it hard, and converts it.
Yeah. Yep.
Takes the hook out of play.
Takes the hook out of play. Exactly.
Well,
phenomenal. And guess where that comes from? Coaching.
No question about that.
And, Coach Carl Dammeyer's not here tonight either. So, Jay's kind of riding solo. I don't know how many times he's ever had to do that. But Jay's always looking at every single shot in between. And I know every single coach is. Steve is, Scott is, Brandon is, Brian is, looking at every shot from every single one of these bowlers. And they're locked in as if they're bowling. To make sure that everybody's throwing the right shot.
Shaker, yeah.
And I'm looking at this. I think shaker's the way to go.
It seems to be at this point.
Yeah. If you just get pin movements left or right, they're falling. Didn't he ask Phil earlier if it was Pac-10 in the pit or get him to
I can
shuffle around?
And my opinion always was, and I'll use example of former PBA player Todd Book. I would watch him get so much angle through the pins here that he would carry like nobody else. And Anthony Kennard is kind of the same way here. So that was my position. But there's days when shakers are going to out-carry that too.
Oh, most certainly. Funny you should bring Todd up. We were just talking about him last night at league play. Brian come up with this little thing that he got talking about as far as in the past of some of the bowlers out of Wapak. And, when Todd was a youth, bowled in all the youth programs, and then they moved to Florida after he went into the service.
Sure.
And then his family moved to Florida, so we kind of lost contact with Todd. And then when he came back here a few years back, the accolades that came with him on his career in the bowling program was pretty impressive.
It was.
And I don't really know if he went at it full bore. I think he would have liked to, but I don't know if he had the ability to do that. But he's got a lot of acclaims in the bowling program, and I know one of his biggest one is the big tournament in Cincinnati that he had won. The Hoinky,
the
Hoinky, wasn't it?
It was the Super Hoinky.
The Super Hoinky.
That used to run over Thanksgiving weekend, and it is a $100,000 tournament to win.
He won
it's
that
gone now, but he won that.
Yeah.
Won that. I think he had won. Was he in the Navy? Is that right?
I think he was.
Branch of the military, but he'd won the military championship.
Exactly.
Too,
I think he did. I think he even did that. I think he might have done that as he was in the Navy. He was actually a bowler for the Navy team. Yeah.
And I know he was on a couple TV telecasts for the PBA.
Yeah. We went to Indiana once that he invited us and watched him on a program, and I can't remember who it was, but the guy had to throw a double in the 10th to beat him, which he did. So let's watch this gal that's coming up now from St. Mary's on. She's got the 4 in a row. That's the two-hander, right?
Yep.
So she'll be up here next bowler after hopefully pick this spare up. Does Todd have the 6-game set record, or did he at one point?
He did at one point.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if he still does. I'm not sure.
We should call him and ask him.
USBC.
Here comes Hannah.
All right, now let's watch her. Oh, she hits the heck out of that ball. Oh, she pulled it.
Yep.
Come on, give her a break. Yep. Solid 3-pin. You got tapped, Hannah.
Got tapped.
You got tapped.
But I've noticed on the guy's side, Neely is, after he goes with 3, he goes 8 spare and throws a double.
278 possibility there. Yep. What a big night to do that.
Oh, she didn't get tapped. I was looking at the screen. I couldn't see the 9 pin behind the 3. That's a 39.
Same.
Not just see on the screen. All I could see is just the 3. But
Great
she gets
cover.
it, no problem.
Yep. Great cover.
We know how hard them spares are, right? Those double pin spares, those double woods they're tough.
And that's another thing on a condition like this is how exactly do you adjust to get the ball? Yeah, and then there's always the argument. We talked about Todd Book. Todd's way to shoot that is just to throw it as hard as you can,
and straight.
Very straight at it. Some people have a different philosophy where because there's a sleeper, they feel like the ball needs to be hooking
to get into to cover that back pin.
I'd like to see the percentage numbers on which one ends up better.
Is better. Yeah, well, that's tough too because we know Todd can split a board in half and then half again with his bowling ball. So
definitely seen that.
You know he can throw it hard and straight right at it. Me, if I tried throwing it hard and straight right at it, I'm going to miss it every single time.
Oh, that is a nice spare conversion.
There's some replay worthy.
Awesome.
2-4-10, is that right? Yeah.
Yep. Slides it
Great
right
cover.
over to 10. Textbook right there, Logan. Textbook.
Oh, there it goes. I'm going to replay that one, too. That one took forever to fall. 2-pin. Looks like a head pin came and tapped on the back, and it falls back.
She slapped that one.
Yeah.
Did you see her? She gave it the old slap.
That's what you do. You look right in your opponent's eye and get your hands about a foot in front of their face, and you go right there just like that. Nah, they're more sportsmanlike than that.
Right, but we know they're thinking it at least.
Right. All right. Little shaker.
K-Wood. Yeah.
K-Wood.
St. Mary's girls are making a little bit of a comeback here, you guys. Wow. How did the first match go with the ladies?
St. Mary's was up 53
They
going
were
into
up
this
53
game.
going in?
820 to 767. Lady Riders going into the 9th frame against Wapak. St. Mary's is up 719 to 632. I believe that's a 6, or is that 832?
Nope, that's 6.
all
You're
right.
correct. Yep. Neely is up on lane. Is he on lane 6?
Lane 6, okay, got it.
We'll pop over there quick. Gonna have Damian Webb go up for St. Mary's here.
Very nice.
Good job by Damian.
Right up about the second arrow. Not a lot of loop, but a lot of revs. And here's Neely on the left side of the lane. With a two-handed approach. Now he got that one way out there. And it hooked a lot.
Yeah.
Still hooked a lot, yes. He's probably thankful.
He missed that one. He would like to have that one back. Yeah, he missed that to the left.
And that could be a lot of things there contributed to that.
Almost certainly.
Little nerves. I mean, that's a lot of striking. And
especially after 258 game.
Right.
Most certainly.
That's one thing I did not look up is the WBL high series for the boys. All time, I should say.
Dusty Hager.
What is it?
5:30. It's on that wall right
over there.
Yeah.
Let me see if my phone can get that. I mean my binoculars. Nope, it's not letting me do that.
No. I think that's still high. I could be wrong, but I do believe that's still high.
Anything 5, that's huge. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's big numbers.
He made a spare.
All right, jump back over to the girls here. They're in their 9th frame. We're going to stay with them, and then that should give us the boys. They're just going into their 8th, so then we'll finish up with the boys here before the Baker matches. And Denny, these cameras too, I've thanked the athletic club, Wapak Athletic Boosters Club, multiple times as well for bringing these cameras to the Wapak bowling team.
That was Brian and Rebecca's idea. What is that not fantastic?
Yeah, every center needs these.
Yeah, as I was standing there behind, trying to look, one guy kind of saw, "Am I in your way?" And no, he said, "I'm watching the TV screen."
Right.
What an idea! Yeah,
it's an amazing idea.
I totally agree.
And then for them to allow us to use them was even better.
Yeah.
Now we're not in the way.
Anything to help when you have a big match between St. Mary's and Wapak.
Yeah. I mean, both teams travel so well, and with Wapak being home, I mean, this place is packed.
Yes, it is.
We could use an arena.
Are those cameras here all the time, or do they put them in just for this?
No,
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think they usually use them just for the high school programs, but they are there.
Right, and they were here for the WBL matches right when he got them up, and that really helped. You know, you have 10 teams across this house. And,
little shaker. There's another one, Logan.
Yeah, all right. I'm tally right there.
That's the way to do it. Are you tallying?
No, I should have, no.
You know, we were going back, you guys, to the programs. Just like last week, Brian here held the league tournament for whichever conference Waynesfield's in, and I know it was like Waynesfield, Lima Baptist Temple.
Okay.
It was
not
like
sure what that
6 at
conference
Ridgemont,
is, but
maybe.
yeah. Okay.
Riverdale, something on that order. And to think, and these are small schools. These are small schools. And guess what? They got a program for the high school bowling program. Phenomenal.
Right.
Just absolutely phenomenal.
And I'm sure this place was packed.
Yeah, it was on a Monday during the holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
Going in the 10th frame here, St. Mary's, we've got 3 open so far, 1 strike. Let's see if Miss Kaywood can cover the 7-pin. And
She threw that shot, and the 5 fell down late, and the 7 stood, and I thought, that looks just like Denny Borger out there.
Yeah. I'd have the 10-pin with it. With the Ooh, somebody got a string going on the boys'
Logan
side.
Ferris.
That's Ferris.
Wapak, yeah.
Wow, good for him.
That's what, 5 right there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the Wheel of Fortune, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's what
here.
they were doing. I heard that, yeah.
The only reason I saw that is because of the white flashiness. Other than that, I would have saw nothing.
Pop back up here. The Wapak boys quick while the girls make their change. That might have been the announcer's curse.
Oh, no.
Wapak starting their 10th frame with 7:09 going in to St. Mary's 8:07. It's almost 100 pins for this second game right now. And that, once again, can change very quickly in a 10th frame. And Phil, I think you said it best. Next year, we're putting numbers on the players because they've definitely made changes.
Yeah.
And
well, I still need your eyes though to be able to see those numbers, Logan.
I'll be here for you.
All right, that's great. Either that, or maybe I actually do purchase binoculars instead of using our phone. Maybe we do that. Or work on getting zoom on the cameras.
Ooh, there we go.
Super zoom, where we can just, yeah.
I do believe. Nope. tried the wrong one there, too. Leaves a 10 pin.
Logan, I haven't heard any standing sheets on the WBL. How is the St. Mary's program doing so far this year?
They're 4-1 in the WBL.
They are 4-1?
Yep. I believe Wapak's 3-1 as well.
Yeah, so it's standing as Salina 5-1 right now. OG's 5-2. And then St. Mary's down at 4-1 and Wapak 3-1.
So was St. Mary's lost to Salina?
St. Mary's lost to Salina, yes.
Apparently their program down there is going pretty strong.
It's going strong.
They've been doing a good job with that here the last few years. Good for them.
It's interesting because there was a point within the last year I thought Salina may be closing up the bowling center.
Yeah, they had some issues there.
And then there was a new group of people that came in and bought it, I guess, and really reinvigorated it. So good for them. Do you know the folks there? I'm not familiar with them.
I think he was involved in the high school program a few years back. He looked familiar.
Gotcha.
I like to stop there when I'm on my way back once in a while to have lunch, and the gentleman doesn't look familiar, but they put some money inside the place, and
very nice.
Good things are on the way for the bowling center in Salina.
Right.
I don't know who Wapak's loss was to. Do you know who Wapak's loss was to? I mean, I didn't mean to put you on a spot there, but I'm not. I'm
think
trying
it
to
was OG.
I was thinking the same thing because they bowled them at OG, and I'm thinking it was Ottawa Glandorf.
I'm pretty sure it was OG.
I believe you're right. Yeah, here's Ferris is up in the 9th.
See if he's keep those going.
Yeah, he's got a 5-bagger.
So for all of the high school matches, question for you guys: they are now not using any house conditions. It's all these OHSAA conditions.
That is Logan, is that how you understood that? That is how I took after that. They all agreed to a pattern, which you had that up of what they're using. And
this is what's supposed to be out on the lane. The invisible playing surface is the OHSAA district.
It's a district pattern, isn't it?
Yeah. So it was voted on that every house is supposed to be putting that out.
And as you can see, it's very fair, but it is also playable. I mean, if you're making good shots and you're on your 8 game, you can definitely knock them over, including both the guys and the gals. There's a 212 game by that's the young lady with the 2-hander.
Hannah Jenneret, yeah.
Hannah shoots 212. What a big game. St. Mary's going to have the girls going to have a nice game here. They got 870, so they're going to shoot 900.
Right.
Which is a nice score.
That's a great score.
Yes, it is.
McKinley leaves a swishy 7 there. This is my opinion. If she could slow the ball down about a mile an hour, I think she would see massive results.
Give it time to read a little bit.
Just read. And she, don't get me wrong, she keeps the ball online beautifully.
Right.
Because of that speed. So it's a fine line. It's really a fine line.
What grade is she in, Logan? What grade? Do you know what grade
believe
she
she's
is?
a sophomore.
She's young. Yeah. So you're going to hear from her for a while, aren't you?
Yeah, I believe she's a sophomore. I hope I'm not wrong on that. But
there's a lot of sophomores out here.
That's
a junior.
Good thing.
Junior, okay.
She's a junior.
She's got another year.
I forgot I had these over here, Logan. Sorry about that.
She's got another year yet, so you're going to hear her name.
Right there, she kind of moved a little right.
Yeah, right in the pocket.
Yep. Good shot there.
There's more of the conservative style of the game right there, right, you guys?
That's right.
But guess what? Results are still good.
Exactly. I was talking earlier with Phil. I'm not a ball change guy. I would rather make the move. I have a couple benchmark balls that I would rather just sit back, make the small moves, whether it's just move in or maybe pipe it a little harder and stay where I'm at.
I agree with you.
But
my thing is my thumb hole. I got to have my thumb hole is so critical, and if if I'm changing balls all the time and get in my head that either I make a bad shot and I hang up or something. So I agree with you on that. And it's whatever you're comfortable with.
Wapak girls end up with 788. Kaywood leaves herself the 3-6. And we're going to jump back over to the boys here to finish out their 10th frame. Well, they're still getting into the 10th frame. We'll go back to Kaywood's spare here.
Fill those frames,
nice
Phil, right?
Straight. Absolutely.
You got to fill them frames.
Very nice shot.
Right now down there on the boys match, going into the 10th frame, St. Mary's down 7-28. Eli still has to throw his in the 10th. Okay, we had pop over there now. Have the boys finish their 10th. And Wapak boys popped a good one off first game, too, 972.
Looks like they're on the pace for that also in this game.
Denny,
a little bit of a home field advantage there.
I was just going to ask you that. How much do you think that comes into play?
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
They know
how the lanes are going to transition.
They know how they transition to the lanes.
Yeah, sure.
The environment, the ball returns. I think it's huge. One thing I admire the Van Meter so much for is that when these I would think it would probably be about the same in most centers, but when these high school kids practice, this is what they practice on. They don't practice on the house pattern, or they don't practice on what was left out the night before. Brian takes the time, takes the money, takes what it needs, and he puts down the pattern that they bowl on every week to where they're accustomed to it when it comes up to where they have matches.
And you said one of the key words there, which some proprietors aren't willing to do it, but it's not free to support a high school program, because when you run that lane machine down there, there's oil that's putting down that it costs money. There's cleaner that costs money. The time for your employees to do that and not do something else.
Somebody's doing it, exactly.
So all that stuff adds to the electricity. So all that stuff adds up, and it's a commitment. Some high school teams aren't as fortunate to have a great proprietor that backs them up like Brian.
Couldn't agree with you more, and that's why St. Mary's and Wapak has the programs that they do.
And Jay, same in St. Mary's.
Most certainly. Pretty much, I would think pretty much the proprietors in our area are all pretty much on that aspect.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like pretty much everybody in these conferences they're going to put it out and give them the practice tools that they need.
They need. Couldn't agree more.
Aiden teaming up here for St. Mary's. He went 7 spare, first shot in the 10th. It's going to be a big 10th for St. Mary's. If they need to tighten it up here. Don't let them get too far away. Logan Ferris.
That's a huge game for Logan. Believe you me, he's got to be tickled pink. Matter of fact, I'm going to find out after the match. To find out that might be his best game of all time. It could very well be. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but
actually, his dad Bruce bowls in a couple leagues.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice little straight down and in there.
Devin Stutler, maybe he's acting like he missed it at the bottom.
Yeah, it didn't hook. Not very much.
Logan Ferris for 10 more, maybe.
Shook it up. little swisher.
It does it.
Oh,
and it
my.
falls.
Who's talking about Astro Lanes? Do you see that strike right there?
People carry everything at Astro
You
Lanes.
got that right.
Let's take a look at that.
Look at that one. What knocked that thing over?
We're going to have to look at that again to see what pin that was.
Was that the 4 or the 7? Now I'm looking here.
I think he left the 7
that
pin.
was the 7. Did it slide? Yeah, it was the 7.
It was something in the middle that came over, rolling over.
Interesting.
Notice that little slap there?
So Logan Ferris, is that going to be for 235 or 234?
I'm happy for the guy.
That's awesome.
I'm going to have to find that out. That might be his all-time best right there.
That's what this is about today.
You better believe it.
That is what
look,
this is
you look
about.
at him all patting him on the back, and
oh yeah,
he got
Did you see
look
how
at the
pumped
green
up
on
he
his
was?
face. Yeah, the
Coming
green
off
on
the
his
first?
face.
That's what it's about.
See how the elevation on the girls just went up. They're in the Baker games.
I don't know if you guys caught that. McKinley just threw that one really good.
Did she?
Yes. $947 for Wapak, $792 for St. Mary's.
Ooh, broke that up.
And this is where the leadership of the team steps in. Keep your heads up, guys. We still have a lot of bowling
You've
to
got
do.
5 Baker games to go, and like you said before, Logan, you know, all of a sudden you could have one of those 130 Baker games sneak up on you, and while your opponent shoots 220, and all of a sudden that 120 pin lead you had is gone.
Yeah. Right.
So you're exactly right. Hard to do to tell a 16 and 17-year-old that you got to keep positive thoughts, but it's not uncommon to happen. What they need to do is, once they get into the Baker games, is maybe they have the fortune enough to start that game with about 4 or 5 in a row, and maybe the opposings have an open or two to where they can see a little bit of momentum swing. Because momentum is huge.
Momentum is huge.
Sure is. I'm sure Coach Ross is talking to him, and Scott is, what do I say it, kind of, he's a smooth guy, you know.
Yeah.
He's not getting all upset and angry and that stuff. And if he can get those kids to have his same mental attitude in these situations, they can make a turnaround.
Oh, certainly. You got 5 games to do that. It doesn't have to be done in one.
Right. Just keep chewing away.
Keep chewing away. Ooh, nice shot on 4. Welcome to Astro Lanes. On 1, yeah.
She left the 10 pin out there.
Man, that Neely is throwing it well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to have a big number tonight.
That might be his all-time best as far as 2-game total. I bet it is. I'll find that out too.
The one thing about these lane conditions is even if the opposing team is privy to it and they put it out in their home center, and maybe St. Mary's has been practicing on this, you come to a different center and it plays completely different.
Right, and this one's going to be for Scott Ross, the topography. Inside joke there from I said telepathy.
Right.
I said telepathy a few weeks ago. No clue what I was thinking,
Some
but
fish laying around.
Yeah. But the topography across the house and per house, it's
absolutely, it's different
all
everywhere. Different everywhere, different lane to lane, and you know the kids in Wapak have practiced in Wapak on it, and they know the transitions. In St. Mary's, it probably transitions completely differently. And they're kind of learning on the fly here.
right. And because they're not coming over here every week practicing. And
sure.
they may see this house once or twice a year.
Wow.
Great job, Tyler.
Mr. Neely.
Yeah, that's great.
What was that, 230 there? 237?
237, yep.
So he shoots 258, 237. What a set.
That is
what
great
a set.
495,
wow.
Tyler.
Wow.
I think that might be one of his highest.
Yeah. That would be a lot of people's highest. That's a nice set.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's 247 and a half average per game. That's a ton of pins.
Yeah.
Will Ross up here.
Logan, who finished? How did the girls finish after the 2 regular games?
So I missed. St. Mary's' score.
You missed their score for the second game?
Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing Walpak's going to have a real nice Baker game here. That's just what we talked about. If they were behind,
I know St. Mary's, they got close to 900.
That's right. They had a nice game. You're correct on that. I do. Matter of fact, they had like 902, 904.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
That's right.
Will to pick up his 10 pin. Yeah.
Yep.
Out of the gutter.
Got a little wild. Eli throwing the ball really nice. Right up 10, just a little high. Luckily, the 10 pin fell, just leaves the 4.
You can tell just looking at the Wapak guys, their mojo's high. They're comfortable. They're out here. They're having some fun. And now's not the time to back in a corner for St. Mary's. Now's the time to get the hatchet out and get through the walls.
Here's where experience can come into play. You know what you do if there's a team, especially that's bowling on the pair of lanes that you're on, and they're bowling really good, and maybe you're struggling a little bit, watch what they're doing. Pay attention to where they're standing, where they're laying the ball, how they're throwing the ball, what equipment are they throwing, and emulate it.
There's the example right there, Phil, of you get on the coaching aspect of things. You wouldn't believe how many times that I have heard that exact same thing, is that when you're on a team that's on, say you were bowling on 5 and 6 and you shoot 850 and then someone shoots 1100 on 9 and 10. Go over there and see what they're doing.
Denny, I can't.
Most certainly.
I can't tell you the amount of tournaments that I've bowled in when we're crossing lanes, and maybe I'm struggling a little bit, and I'm like, I'm going to look across here. I'm going to find some guys that have a similar rev rate, similar release to me, and I'm going to see how they're playing. That guy over there's got 8 in a row. How's he playing the lanes?
Yep.
You know?
That's all part of it.
Sometimes it gets you out of the bind. Sometimes it turns you around. Not all the time.
And there's a law there's no law that says you can't do that. That's just to your advantage.
Right. I'm going to go grab some scores quick. The boys, they got them ready to go before I could even look up and get the scores for them.
Okay.
We're going to switch over to the girls here for this Baker game.
Sounds good.
I looked at that first Baker game, Phil, and I think Wapak won that one by about 50 the way I could see it.
I think it's right.
And I think St. Mary's had a sizable lead going into that, but there's that game that puts a little dent in that.
They got five games to start bringing that closer. Really nice shot. Little shaker, 5. So in Wapakoneta, Denny, does everybody hold one finger up in the air if you leave a 5 pin in case you miss it? I don't know where that started.
That started here.
Did it start?
We had. I will give you a quick story on that. There's a plant that was being built about 3-4 years ago. It's a cardboard plant. Pratt Industry, it's called. It's out on the south side of town. And the construction workers that were building that plant, there was about 15 of them that were living in a mobile home park over here, started to spend a lot of time in here, and we got to know them, and great guys, and they're going to be here for a year and a half, so they signed up on a Wednesday night league.
Oh, okay.
And they're from the Detroit area, the Michigan area.
Yeah.
And the first night we were bowling, somebody left the 5-pin, and all these guys over there all holding their fingers up. They're all holding it up. Well, what are you guys doing? What do you mean, what are you doing? It's a 5-pin. He's got to make that, or if you're holding your finger up and he misses it,
Now,
and that's still going on today.
Well, that has trickled out of here because it happens in Lima, it happens in Delphus.
Really?
I saw it happen in
Does it really?
Yeah, so that has gotten out of this
filtered
building.
around. Yeah,
it's filtered to other places.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you come in on Saturday mornings, not much the kids league in the morning, but the older kids in the afternoon. If there's somebody leaving a 5-pin, up goes those one fingers.
Like if I miss that 5-pin, yep, I'm buying for the whole house. Yeah. My dad used to call those a pine float.
Yeah.
A glass of ice water with a toothpick. That's what I'm getting you.
Hey, our two-hander there just demolished the pins on that lane 3.
Guys, I went out and got scores. Wapak, huge game there, 10-25.
Yeah.
They put 2 really good games there together, 9-72, 10-25.
And that's on the boys' side, right?
Yep, boys' side, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Girls here, the first Baker match. Wapak gained a lot of ground there, too. They shot 182 against that 131.
Yeah, we just talked. There's 50 pins right there.
Yep.
Logan, you're like Superman here. You're doing all the stats. You're running all the equipment here. You're anchoring the broadcast. What don't you do? Hey, go give me a drink, will you?
We can make that happen. Diet Pepsi, please.
One of the things, both you guys being bowlers know this also, is that one of the things about the Baker games is that once you shoot your one game, you go to the net, you swap lanes.
Yeah.
And we all know that this pair here, on a pair of lanes, one lane could be at a little bit of an advantage, carries just a little bit better, has a little bit of a hold area or whatever.
Absolutely.
And you see that a lot in the matches where they have like the best of 5, that either the right-hand lane is the left-hand lane. So let's see how that manipulates with the girls right here.
Absolutely. And a lot of these collegiate tournaments, the teams, they would practice and then you would choose
which
lane, so
exactly.
you know which one you were going to finish on, because you want to finish on the lane you think is working the best
That's
for
right.
you.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works out, sometimes it bites you.
I'll tell you what, he is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see what he had for lunch this afternoon or something.
Gonna have to order that for us.
Girls are still up 128, but Wapak is really hammering down here on St. Mary's. They're taking advantage of St. Mary's mistakes.
See, I believe what's happening with the girls is you're seeing this transition now, and the Wapakoneta girls have practiced on it, and they kind of know. And, maybe St. Mary's, they're not making the moves as quickly as Wapakoneta is.
Yeah. Yeah, Wapak just in the goy side, just strung 4 in a row. Notice how things have risen as far as the boys. And,
absolutely. This is what I love.
There you go, young lady.
Keeping St. Mary's back in that one. Wapak's got 3 Wapak girls have 3 in a row here as well.
Yeah, they don't have an open this game.
And clean, yeah. Hannah Jenneret here.
Yeah, she definitely needs to feed the ball right. I mean, as much as she's making it hook, she can't pull it like that. Not going to work. She's got to get the ball out down lane. There's a lot of tricks to doing that. When you're throwing the ball like that, now she got that
there
out.
It is.
Nice.
Yep.
But one of the things you can do is move your mark further down the lane. Maybe look at like the shadow of the pins
on the lanes, which would be like at 45 or 50, and try to extend your arm there. It'll help you shove the ball right.
Well, on that note too, Phil, there's a lot of the lanes, especially on the synthetic lanes now, they all have that pathfinder that's 40 or 45 feet down the lane. So you can look at that down there farther and get that break point to where figure out where you're going to hit the pocket.
A lot of the tougher patterns require you to do kind of the left to right motion, and if you don't extend, it's the ball's taken. You're not going to hit the pocket.
And the thing of it is, there's not a right way to do it, and there's not a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Some guys, I remember Wes Malott. If you ever watch Wes Malott bowl, who was a PBA Hall of Famer, he's almost looking at his feet.
Yeah, he looks at the dots are just past the foul line.
Just past the foul line.
Right.
To where
And he's got titles.
And
a lot of them.
Then there might be a guy, and I know Pete Weber always would concentrate on something 40 feet down the lane. So it's whatever works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is different for everybody.
And I've said that before. That's one of my favorite things about bowling is there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's as long as you can do it.
Whoever knocks the most pins down.
Myself, if I'm going more up the boards, I'll just have a mark somewhere between the dots and the arrows. But if I'm going left to right, I'll have 2 marks. I'll look at like a mark at the dots to lay the ball,
and then a break point.
And a break point. So as I'm walking up, I'm looking at the dot, and as soon as I'm ready to extend, I look out at the break point.
Great shot there by Sophia.
It is fantastic, you guys. Look at the kids. It's amazing. High school bowling, nothing better. Oh my, he just went, missed that one pretty bad and went Brooklyn. Guess what? It's a strike.
When they're falling for you, they're falling for you.
Yep.
Yeah, don't change a thing.
There you go. Oh, a little swisher. Could have been a 7. Falling late, but it stands.
So St. Mary's at a 160 that game, which is a nice game for high school girls, but St. Henry girls are on a pace for the Wapak girls. What did I say, St. Henry?
Yeah.
The Wapak girls are on a really another big game. They're working on a 200 game. Oh, she just missed it. What is that, 192?
192,
wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna call you either Bo Burton or Randy Peterson with a curse there. You just said.
Oh yeah, on 200 pace and she misses the 7-pin. Man, I haven't done this enough to where I could.
That's awesome.
Jump back over here to the boys. Big match, St. Mary's 236.
That's just what they needed.
Yeah, it sure is.
But Wapak 230.
Are you serious? 236, 230 Baker game?
So just a was it 33 you said?
Yeah.
So 3 pins.
Oh my, what a Baker game that was.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to need four big Baker games. I mean, they did everything they possibly could there on that. But
wow.
Yeah, that's some big numbers there. Going to the girls while the boys get themselves situated over there. I mean, you see them in the meeting there, both coaches. Got both teams in meetings.
Denny, you know this bowling center better than anybody. I feel like we're definitely on the tougher scoring end of the building.
No question.
Too. Like if we were towards like the other side, scores have always seemed to be a little higher.
Yep.
Maybe the pin carry is just a slight bit better down there. I don't know. So this is really a tough area to score.
No question about that. And it's kind of ironic because all centers have that. All centers have the good pairs and the pairs that are a little lower scoring. And at the time that I was around, 15 and 16 was by far the highest scoring pair in the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guess what the lowest scoring pair in the house was?
Probably 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And, trust me,
we got a bowl on. Nobody wanted a bowl on one. I don't want a bowl
it's my lowest scoring pair. I'll say that.
Yeah, St. Mary says that on 11 and 12. Nobody wants to bowl on 11 and 12.
Oh, and 11 and 12 there? Yeah.
Tough pair. Everybody says it's where the parking lot should have began.
That's hilarious.
But then I watched shoot 700 on it like it's no problem. It's just a mental thing over there, I believe. I mean, there's a way to get around the parking lot.
Does anybody ever do any competitive bowling on the 4 lanes on the opposite side there?
It's been a while.
I think that's what we need to do. We need to have a little 4-lane tournament. And you know what also we need to do, Logan? We need to let me go out and oil the lanes with a stick.
Oh, goodness.
Or Denny could come over. He has experience doing that.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, that stick is still back there.
I've never seen one.
It's still back there.
Was it 10 to 10? 7
yeah.
10 to 10 stick, baby.
Devin Stetler picks up that 7 pin.
Logan, I can do amazing things with a push broom cut 10 to 10, a towel wrapped around it, and a mustard bottle. I'm just telling you.
It's funny you say that.
Let's give it a shot.
I love nothing better on Saturdays. I am so fortunate, you guys, Brian and Rebecca, as much as I love this game and love the sport and love this facility right here, after the time that it was time for Joyce and I to leave, I'm still fortunate to have Rebecca and Brian allow me to come in on Saturdays.
Awesome.
And work with the kids, which I love. Just look forward to it all the time. But nothing satisfies me more than when I have the high school kids around. And I said, and I can tell them, back when I was here back in the 80s, this is what we had to do. We had to come on with this thing called a line of cloth and wipe them off, clean them off, and take the spray can and take this towel. And what are you talking about?
You guys think
you guys hit a little button and the machine goes down there.
And we complain about that. This takes too long. Why do I have to hold this cord?
Denny, did you ever have to clean a lane, strip a lane with a towel?
Oh, most certainly.
I didn't know if you had the old shark things that did that.
No.
But I'll tell you, that is the most excruciating thing that you'll ever have to do at a bowling center, because now you've got a towel that's soaked in lane cleaner, so it's soaking wet, and you're trying to push it. You're behind it through oil.
And walk
Do you know how many times I landed on my patootie doing that? I'm just telling you.
You almost wanted a pair of golf spikes or something.
Yep, that was.
Oh man, back in the day.
Tough.
How's the matches here? I'll tell you what, I am impressed with the Wapak girls team.
Yep, definitely making.
They're kind of kicking it up a notch here, and
St.
there's
Mary's
a 10
girls
pin just covered.
Started the Bakers.
Where was it?
At plus 179.
Okay.
They're at plus 96 now, so they're cutting it in hard.
They're cutting it. So let's see what happens. That's what this Baker thing match is all so exciting.
Little Greek church over there on lane 6 for Wapak.
What do you do with that, Logan? Do you go after the 3 or the 2?
Oh, definitely the 3, Phil.
I've seen guys that think that it's easier to go after the 2, but I've actually picked it up going after the 3, and you get the pin count. So
yeah,
I always go after the 3 also.
Unfortunately, that's just ingrained in me. I would just rather take the pin count. If it somehow they all get over there, great. If not, I know I got 3.
Yep. Good theory. Look at that. Bounced some stuff around. Didn't quite make it, though.
Eli here on lane 6 for Wapak.
Ooh.
Denny, is Eli signed to go bowl college anyway?
I don't think he has yet. I know he's got his. Schools kind of narrowed down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, that young man is amazing. His work ethic is second to none. Friday nights, he cooks and this is a very busy kitchen, and he cooks. And on Fridays, it's late by the time he gets out of here, and I come in at 8:30 on Saturday morning, and he's down on 15 and 16 practicing.
He's dedicated. I love that.
He is so dedicated, and he's going to be a success in his adult life. There's no question about that.
I can relate to that dedication to this. And you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
I'll tell you. Going to improve. I'll tell you a story, Logan, about this guy right here. If I have time to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm afraid there's a lot of them that he knows. I just want to make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, Phil's. I can recall Phil when he was this age right here. We didn't have high school bowling, but there were a lot of tournaments that you guys did on weekends, correct, Phil?
Oh, yeah.
And who were some of the Wapak guys? You guys would travel all over the state that you would compete with. Was Jake Book? Was Jake or Todd?
Jake and Todd,
yeah.
Book, both
Those guys
bowled. I
bowled.
believe Mike Doby was one of the bowlers that was in our age bracket.
That's what they did. And then as Phil got older, did a lot of bowling, traveled around, did a lot of bowling. Well, here about, 8-10 years or so ago, UNOH had their program started, and Tyler Sosby was the head coach, and he had lost his girls bowling coach. I don't really know what reason for, but they had a big tournament upcoming in northern Michigan. So he needed someone to kind of help with the girls. I wasn't doing anything, so he approached me. He said, Denny, would you help me out here? I'm in a little bit of a pinch. And I said, oh, most certainly. He said, well, we practice on Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock or Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, whatever time frame. Could you make that? And I said, oh, most certainly most certainly can. So as I'm walking in with some of the UNH kids that were following me in for practice, there's one guy in the bowling center at Westgate, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, one guy. Phil. 45 years old,
right?
And he's practicing.
You don't see that often.
No, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I went down and asked him, and I said, Phil, shook hands, how you doing, stuff? He said, I'm struggling a little bit with my release. I'm just trying to get things figured out. So I went back up to all the UNOH kids. I said, now here you go, guys. Now here's an example what we're talking about. There's a guy right down there. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's the only guy in the bowling center. He's 45 years old. And he's trying to figure out part of his game that he might have messed up on the night before.
He's trying to get better at
He's trying to get better at that. You remember that? You recall that?
I do recall that, yeah. Yep.
I love that. I tell that story to a lot of people, Phil, a lot of people. Always practice just to get better. It's a great thing to do. I appreciate you letting me tell that story.
I'm a firm believer, and my bowling career has followed in these footsteps. The more time you're putting into it, the more you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
It's just, in the times in my life that I've had to devote, I told Logan earlier, there was a period in my life when I was 20, 21 years old. I worked in a bowling alley. I bowled 10 sanctioned leagues that year.
Yeah.
And
think of that.
And I practiced every bit as much. Denny, I was bowling 100 games a week, and my bowling game reflected
that. Most certainly.
And then throughout my life, I've had times when I have a little extra time to bowl and times when I don't.
Yeah.
And the scoring has reflected that all the way through.
Well, Logan, it looks like the girls has kind of hit a little null here. This scoring pace is a little lower than the other two games.
It's a little lower, but if you look, Wapak is still up. They're still crunching into this lead here that St. Mary's has. Could be a big 10th
Almost certainly are, yeah.
Yep.
St. Mary's could use this 10th frame, Phil, just to kind of keep it even for this game.
Wapak shot 146. Looks like Coach Gibson made a change there. I'm going to actually flip it over to the girls here to finish this one up, and we'll stay with them. You see Allie Cable there anchoring for the St. Mary's girls.
And what'd you say? They're up 90? Is that what you said?
96 right now, yep. Big spare here for Allie.
Ooh.
No problems.
I was a little afraid I was going to get stuck in the oil.
Yeah, I was being a little sarcastic there. I'm sorry. I was sweating.
So So as they finish the 10th frame here for that, it looks like that's going to be a fairly close game. Logan, if you would, I mind asking you, I have not seen you in quite some time. And I know you've been around. What are you doing now besides broadcasting high school
bowling?
Yeah. Are you still bowling?
Oh no, I'm not bowling this year. I had to take some time off. I am with my mom. She's a State Farm agent, has been in St. Mary's for 35 years. So
you went in business with her?
I just work for her.
Oh, you work for her?
Yep.
Okay.
So in the insurance game, and my entire family is. I've got a brother both brothers down in Florida. My oldest brother's a State Farm agent as well down there, and he does a really good job down there. And so I try to bring some of those methods back to Mom's office, and
good for
going
you.
pretty well.
Phil,
yeah.
I don't know. Were you around when he could play the game?
Oh yeah, no. He was a UNOH bowler. Maybe the first year we started the program.
I did not know that. Were you really?
It was 2012 or 2013 is when I joined.
So
it was a little after
a year or two in then. Yeah.
Right. I graduated in 10, and then. I actually was over in Worcester for quite some time, and then I came back and I started working for Jay.
You were in Worcester, yeah.
Yeah, and what an incredible place, center-wise bowling team they have up there. Coach Vince Yoder and Corby Anderson over there. They're not coaching anymore, but they're powerhouse teams. They ranked with, and they're part of the same proprietors that we're talking about.
Yeah.
No matter what shot they were bowling on. They made sure that the kids had all the tools that they possibly could to be the best they possibly could, and produce some really, really good bowlers out of there as well.
Well, there's a great point there with Mr. Neely. Phil, I don't know if you noticed his last 3 shots has gone Brooklyn, and that one he missed. So he's going to need to make some kind of an adjustment, Phil. So what do you think he's going to be having to look at, since he was constantly in the pocket, now all of a sudden he's going higher Brooklyn. What's he need to do?
There's a couple things that he could do. He might get a bowling ball with a less friction surface and be able to stay in that same area of the lane.
And what would be the reason behind that? What would the ball make the difference on?
So the oil pattern is, in my estimation, starting to dry up in that track area where he's playing. So the ball that he's currently throwing starts to hook earlier, earlier when he was getting strikes, the ball would get down to about 45 feet and then start hooking. Now that ball is starting to hook at about 30 or 35 feet, so it's creating misses to the right. So he's either going to have to take that same ball and move to the right and still pitch it left to his break point down the lane, or get a ball maybe that doesn't hook quite as much. And this is where experience comes into play.
So that the hooking characteristic of the ball is determined by what? By the inside of it, the outside of it?
All the above.
All the above?
All the above. Bowling balls have what they call weight blocks in them. And you can drill a bowling ball about 15 billion different ways. Yeah. And depending on what direction that weight block is in relationship to where your grip is on the ball, it will make the ball lope, as it may be, and hook either earlier or later. The surface of the ball could be a surface that is conducive to going further down the lane before it hooks, or it could be designed to hook really, really early. So a weaker ball in this case could be the answer for him.
And that's what you need to know, the knowledge of the bowling equipment you have in the bag right there.
Absolutely, and that's experience, and that's honestly, if he's bowled in this center and has seen that transition before, experimenting through different things and figuring out, this is my best move.
Well, we'll watch him on his next shot and see what kind of move he makes.
And the other thing about that is being able to troubleshoot your own game, and knowing whether this is the most important part about any of this. Knowing whether you threw the ball well or not.
Yeah.
Knowing whether you physically threw the ball well, because that tells you everything. If you threw the ball incredibly well and it didn't hit the pocket then you know you have to make a change.
And you got to be honest with yourself on that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see this happen so many times. A guy says, "Oh, the lane's changed." No, you just threw the ball back.
Right.
See, it's the same thing with the young St. Mary's gal, the two-hander there. If you notice, the last few times her shots have been going left.
Yep.
So she needs to make an adjustment. I see that. I'm seeing that quite a bit right here.
Right, she really needs to reach out to the right. And Coach Jay Gibson, you saw on the bottom of your screen, he really just emphasized that with her. Is get it to the right. Don't be afraid to get it out there towards that gutter. Just like that.
Yeah, that's
the results.
So that shot, she threw it like she was when she was striking. So to me, my analysis of her is the lanes haven't changed. You just started not throwing the ball as well.
Didn't throw it that well.
Yeah.
Right, you were pulling it down and getting the left right off your hand instead of getting it to the right. And I love seeing Coach Jay there. I wish I had the forward shot of that because he really just absolutely told her, get the ball to the right.
But I've seen it go both ways. I've also seen guys that insist, "Oh, I threw that ball bad. Oh, I threw that ball." I'm like, no, I watched you. You threw it good. The ball hooked more. The lanes are changing. Move.
Right, they're being too honest with themselves.
Yeah, and they think they threw the ball bad. No, you didn't throw the ball bad. The ball had a bad reaction. Not because you threw it bad, because the lanes changed.
They did. They transitioned.
You have to be able to know if you threw it bad or not. It's plain and simple.
Nice shot by the St. Mary's young man right there.
Let's see here. So I've got Wapak down 90 for the girls' side. And the boys looking closer to the 250, 290 range, actually. Sorry. The Wapak boys, they put it on them. That 10-25, Tyler Neal is shooting 495. Logan Ferris with a 234 in there. I think Denny said that's possibly his highest game.
Yeah.
Let me ask
you
this.
At least in competition.
Right.
Logan, does your memory serve you? We covered this same match last year. It was in St. Mary's. Did the home field advantage come into play there? Did the Roughriders win last year?
I am pretty sure, yeah. Roughriders prevailed in that match.
And again, they kind of knew what transitions to expect.
And one of the things that we talked about on that broadcast was you saw St. Mary's start inching left very quick compared to where Wapak was, and it kind of put Wapak in that hole that led St. Mary's to win that match on the boys' side of things.
Sure.
It is. It's that home field advantage. And also over there, we talked a lot about they were on 7 and 8. We talk about how much more 8 hooks, and we just know that because we're there every single day. So right off the rip, we're already 5 left of what.
That's a characteristic of that pair of lanes.
So I'm telling you, if I'm the coach and the bowling proprietor, and I can decide what lanes you're going to be bowling on for the matches, and if there's any team that is ever coming in from anywhere that's bowling one of my teams, I'm putting them on 7 and 8. Because my team knows it, they know. That's what I'm doing.
Keep them away from 3 and 4.
You know what? You hear about it all the time, the home field advantage, basketball home field advantage, football home field advantage. You don't think bowling has a home field?
Oh, yeah.
It should. It would if I was exactly right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it just brings that comfortability to yourself when you walk in your own center. Everything's fresh, or your surroundings are clear. You walk into a different center that you maybe see once, twice a year again, and the walls feel smaller, the lanes look shorter, longer.
Exactly right.
It's different.
I remember our kids here when we were bowling. When Wapak Rec was open, which is a 10-lane center, kind of confined, built the old way, than the old style centers. But I would have our kids would come back and say, "How come the lanes are always? How come they're shorter over there? How come these are longer?"
60 feet from foul line to headpin, right?
I can't remember who I had a discussion with about Wapak Rec just a few weeks ago, and they said, "Oh, we thought there was only 8 lanes there." Like, I guarantee you there were 10 lanes. Yeah. I remember that.
Where was that
Very
located?
Much so.
You know where Lowe's? You know where the Lowe's? It's just kind of behind that. It's a little residential area, right kind of behind that.
So it was almost across the street from each other. Am I thinking the right place here?
No, Lowe's is
right
down over by the McDonald's area over in that area there. It's kind of sat behind that a little bit.
Man,
that was
I don't know. When did that close?
That was a well-run 10-lane bowling center right there.
Denny, let me ask you this. So you would know this. Somebody told me, and I did not realize this, there was a third center in Wapak, right?
Yeah.
I did not know that until just maybe a year or two ago.
Out across from the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
right across.
so
Matter of fact, the building that exists there is a chiropractor and an animal.
Okay, but the building's still there?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so what was it called? Do you remember?
That was called West Side Bowl.
Was it open?
I was on the West Side Bowl.
Was it open when you opened Astro Lanes, or it was before that?
No,
Okay.
it had a fire in the early 70s, and then they just closed it up.
Got it. If I remember the history of Astro Lanes, so they opened originally in 74.
74.
And then closed not too long after that, and then you ended up here in 76, right?
That's correct, yeah. Boy, that was an experience.
Well,
23 years old. never been out of the town of St. Henry, Ohio.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Just got married.
That's
living in Coldwater.
Yeah.
Driving
so
back
you
and
drove
forth.
back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I remember about this? I was the Lima guy, and in about 1975, in the bowling alley that I grew up in, I was, by the way, 5 years old. I remember Morio Lanes, 16-lane center.
Oh, man.
And they installed 16 one-year-old Brunswick pin setters and Star Shield masking units that came from Astro Lanes.
Came from right here.
I remember that was the first time I was ever in the back of a bowling alley with my dad and Dick Morio, the owner of the bowling alley.
This was one of the first bowling centers that had automatic scoring.
I heard that. And wasn't there like a pencil or something that moved, or you had to press a button? Or
yeah, there was an apparatus that sat back on the concourse area here that covered 4 lanes.
Okay.
Big, huge piece of equipment. And then each lane had a little knob that if you were 1 through 5 bowler, you had to move that knob up. And then when you move that knob up, then the pin setter would be in a holding position, and it would go up once you would move it to say you're ready to.
Interesting. And
that's how it would make the score count.
Yeah, they weren't here when we came.
Okay, so that was torn out before you came in.
They took everything out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, did you put these automatic scoring units in then, or did you just have manual scoring?
Yeah, we had the. If you remember the wax pencils.
Yeah.
With the.
The telescores.
Telescores.
Yeah. Okay.
How did that one go, Logan, that game?
St. Mary's went up 167, 158, so back up to 99.
99 pins, and that was game. So they just have one more game?
One more Baker game. Oh. I tell you, Will's throwing the ball really good. And he's just having a scoring problem as well, where the carry just hasn't been there for him. But man, is he throwing the ball really well.
When you initially set up to throw your first ball, your goal is to hit the pocket. That's the strife and goal.
Certainly.
Now, it's another thing to knock all 10 pins down. When you have a round object hitting the pins and you never know what happens, and the adjustment is so small to quite make to where, do I do anything to try to knock that 10 pins down? And believe you me, I've left a lot of them. And it's just a tough thing to think, do I want to make some kind of a change, or do I just want to continue to try to hit the pocket and make my spare? And
I think your thought process should change based on what kind of scoring environment it is. If it is an incredibly high scoring environment,
you got to knock it over.
You've got to make an adjustment.
Change, yeah.
But if for the day only 3 people are going to average 200, maybe just hitting the pocket and leaving that 10 pin isn't a bad thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. As a golfer, we never give the hole away on a putt. So same with bowling for me. I try to never give the pocket away. If I'm there, I'm going to stay in the pocket as long as I possibly can.
Tell you, I've been kind of watching here, Logan, the St. Mary's boys team, and I could see why they're 4-1. Now they're having some issues today, but those guys throw the ball fairly well.
They do. They do.
I just watched two of them right here both throw it. Are there any two-handers on their team that you're aware of?
They've got one, and he started off, Devin Stutler, yeah. And like Phil said, it's going to be the way to go here shortly. You're going to see a lot of teams with a lot of two-handers. You look at the Ashland Arrows. Do you know their program at all? The Ashland Arrows?
No, I do not.
Oh, Phil,
I do not know that.
They won the state of Ohio last year and the Nationals.
Oh, interesting.
And they didn't have a senior on the team.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So they got another year at least of being really good.
Five two-handers.
I was going to say 4, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's a great program. That's a young program as well. As far as when they became high school bowling, a high school bowling program, that was roughly the 16, 17 time frame is when they became high school.
Ashland Arrows. Wow.
Yeah. Out of Lindley Lanes. No.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's sorry.
I got you.
Not Lex Lanes.
There is Lex Lanes in Lexington.
Right.
That's not it?
That's not it. Nope.
No.
It's a little more north
in Ashland.
of it.
It's in the town of Ashland. I know exactly what he's talking about.
In Triway, where I was at, all three of those centers were owned by the Cooks, and they all looked exactly the same. Darn it. I'm going to get in trouble for not remembering the name of that one.
Bob Cook?
Yeah.
Did Bob Cook own the center you worked at Wooster?
He did before Vince Yoder bought it. Vince Yoder and family bought it, yep.
Really?
So.
Is Bob still
my
in?
knowledge, he is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I know he is because he was doing some insurance stuff with the bowling alley still. So, and they just, the owners who bought it after Vince, who were two of my good buddies, they had just had to talk to me about some things, and Bob was one of the
Lex Lanes, which is a beautiful facility.
Center.
But if you ever were familiar with bowling in Lex Lanes, when you walked out one side of the lanes on lane number 1, they had a side door right there. Well, they had a big muddy field. What would you see laying in the field once in a while?
Bowling balls. Plenty of them out there.
Correct.
It's like a marsh out there.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Lima.
Yeah.
And there is 20th Century Lanes, which is still there on South Main Street.
Yeah.
And directly behind it was Morio Lanes. And when I say directly behind it, I could stand in between both buildings and touch them, okay? So they were that close. And right around the corner is the bridge that goes over the Auglaize River. And how many bowling balls on the over-under have gotten tossed in? I can name at least 10 that I know of, and you probably multiply that by 10 or 20.
Yeah.
That's the amount of bowling balls.
Neely's bowling up on lane 6. Let's see if he made any kind of adjustment. Yeah.
That one he got to the gutter quick.
He got it out. I think his last one he really pulled. Now what he needs to do, he got afraid because he was inside, but he pulled it. He needs to get back left, lay the ball where he did the frame before, but feed it to that break point. Yeah, that's what he needs to do.
Man, a nice shot right there.
That was by Allie Cable there on lane 4. We saw that ball come in out of picture and Hammerton back.
That's a nice shot.
Good job by Jake Ackroyd there.
And the gentleman before him, I think he was a lefty from St. Mary's that threw it two-handed.
That was Devin Stutler, yes.
So, something tells me we may see these two teams in the near future being in competition to one another, huh?
Yes. Damien.
There is just absolute, what these guys are doing, I'm seeing it, as the lanes break down, they're trying to move in and get the ball to hit some oil. that'll carry it down the lane so they can feed right. And there's nothing to move into. There's not enough oil in the middle to push it. So they got to start manipulating their releases. That's another thing that they can do is, a lot of these guys get a lot on the ball. I mean, they're really bent wrist and underneath it. If they break their wrist back a little bit or roll up onto the side of the ball a little bit, they'll be able to get the ball down the lane better and get it to the break point versus, when there's a lot of oil, they can just hit it and get it.
Right. And they're able to store the energy in the ball, too, by doing that, just getting around a little bit, keep the energy in the ball to bury the 10 in the pit.
Yeah. When the lanes are hooking this much, they don't need all that extra to get it to go through the pins.
Right. So. Jump back over here to the girls while they finish up. They're both going into the 7th frame here. Wapak is looking at 90 right now. St. Mary's up to 136. And they're in their 5th Baker game, so this will wrap it up for the St. Mary's Wapak girls match.
So, Logan, how are things at the bowling center in St. Mary's? Things going okay for him? Jay, he's happy the way things are turning out?
Absolutely, yeah.
Leagues are good.
Leagues are good.
Junior bowling's good, and everything's looking up.
Yeah, Carter Monbeck, he's the guy for the junior league now, and so there's still some openings. I'm sure that if anybody out there is listening and wants to join that league, get a hold of Carter through Jay at the bowling alley at their Varsity Lanes. But yeah, leagues have been good from what I understand, and I bowled last night for the first time.
Oh, really? Well, good for you. How did the results turn out on that?
I was happy. I shot a 630.
Oh,
I'll take
630.
Yeah,
first night of bowling.
First night of bowling. I'll take it.
I'm not worried about. Go ahead.
Did that get the blood pumped up a little bit?
I was happy.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I can do this. I should be the 33-year-old out there practicing a lot. I have some extra time. I probably could, but.
Well, if they shot 630, the next guy calls you on the phone and says, "Hey, how about coming out and bowling tonight?" That might make it a little bit easier to say, "I'll be there," right?
Yeah, it's a good possibility. No phone calls, please.
There you go.
And not to mention, they still got the best pizza in St. Mary's, so there's that.
Some good pizza, some good eats. Yeah.
You know what? Bowling centers. I mean, if you just want some good old food, a bowling center, you're not going to go wrong.
You're not.
You're not going to
I
go wrong.
can't think of many things that I've eaten from a bowling center that I've said I don't like.
You're just not going to go wrong. There's just something about it that.
And back when I was growing up, most bowling centers it was just like hamburgers and fries, and maybe if they had a pizza oven or whatever, and that'd be about it. But these days, you got wings are a big thing. I mean, here at Astro Lanes, I know Brian goes through a lot of them.
Oh man,
he's got an 85-cent wing night on Wednesday,
and it's Brian and Rebecca are doing fantastic. So happy for them. They're doing fantastic.
And I have to say thank you to him again and just everybody here at Astro. Just treated us like family at Rider Nation Station. We walked in this place. They let us say, here's the keys. You guys do what you need to do. It was fantastic. And
well, he said something to me about giving you and Doug an Astro Lanes T-shirt, so or a Wapak Redskin. I don't know.
Oh, no.
See which one you
We're in trouble. And also here in Wapak, got to thank TSC again. Thank you for boosting the internet speed for today's broadcast. Couldn't do without TSC bumping that up for us.
TSC and this community are hand in hand.
Yes.
I mean, they are amazing.
They were putting digital lines in for me in the radio business back in the early 2000s when we used to do broadcasts around the area here.
Wapak girls going to have another great Baker game here. They're going to boost their Baker average up. I'm not sure what it is, but 182, 192, 146, 158, and
Tell you
200.
Kind of a surprise team here. These girls are young. They had an extremely good team last year, and they lost the leaders of that team. And Auburn Snarry was really the only gal that came back with really a whole lot of experience. And I am impressed with what I've seen in today's match with St. Mary's, knowing that they knew that this was going to be a big match. So,
sure.
How did that end up?
St. Mary's shot 166 to 196. So
St. Mary's wins by
St.
about
Mary's
40 or so.
Yep.
Good match.
Great match. And a lot of, just chewing that off through the Baker games is, going into the Baker games at plus 190 or 179 and getting it down to 60.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good.
That's accomplishment. Good for the girls. I was impressed with some of the speed and the revolutions that the St. Mary's girls have on the bowling ball.
Oh yeah, for
considering the fact that a couple of them aren't very large gals. I mean, size-wise, their release is very impressive.
Right. We look at like McKinley and Kaywood. Ball speed and revs are there for sure.
Oh yeah,
so.
no question.
And that's something that needs to be repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. So they've been on the lanes practicing. You can tell that.
Right.
Yeah, they impressed me with that. The way they threw the ball was impressive.
Boys fifth and finer Baker here. It looks like Wapak boys are going to take this one all the way through.
Yeah, those lanes are definitely lighting up. They're starting to hook a lot. Like they're all having a hard time keeping the ball on the right side of the head.
Phil, that's one of the things with a pattern such as this is with that house pattern, when you have that heavy concentration of oil in the middle.
Sure.
That usually doesn't go away. But when the volume is a little bit more evenly distributed and that middle kind of depletes, your shot making is extremely important.
Absolutely.
You just have to make good shots.
Yep. It's just, it's a tricky move. It's, with a house shot, a lot of times guys will just stay in the same place all night and just switch balls and, stay right there in the pocket.
Yeah.
Well, with this, there's a little more to it than that.
Right. It's very demanding, and you have to execute on anything with these tougher patterns.
And again, back to the point to where it's not impossible. It's not impossible to play. You can have good scores on these patterns.
To me,
hi Delaney.
It comes down to having a couple different games in your repertoire. When you want to go from good to great, I feel like you need to be able to do multiple things with the bowling ball. I feel like, okay, you're really good at standing left and hitting up on the ball and hooking it a lot. Now what I want you to do is go, instead of laying the ball at 17 and swinging it out to 8 board, I want you to lay the ball on 8 board and hit 8 board down lane and figure out what you need to do hand position wise to make that happen.
One of the things that I've never seen that I would like to, and it dictates on the lane pattern, of course, is on the two-handed player, except for on the professional level, and I haven't seen that a whole lot, is playing the outside part of the lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just I've never seen that. Of course, a lot of centers don't require you to play out there. But if you do need to be playing out there, I would like to see how a two-hander would maybe go out and attack that.
Yeah,
I'd be curious on my part to see how they would do that.
It'd be interesting to see.
Because the swing definitely ain't there.
Yeah, you don't see a two-hander laying the ball anywhere right of 12 board, even on the tougher patterns.
Yeah,
you know, so yeah, it's.
And I'm trying to think on tour, like Jesper. You hardly ever. I want to say Jesper though. I watch him play up the boards all the time, but other than that, that's about it. That's the only one I can really think of who can really just play it straight up the boards.
Yeah, you need a lot of ball speed. That's one thing about the two-handed thing. When you're going to be able to compete with that, you're going to need ball speed. We have a young man on our Wapak team that been throwing two-handed ever since he's been 5 years old, freshman this year. And in order to be competitive, we put him in a little heavier bowling ball. I think he's throwing a 14-pounder, and he needs volume. He needs oil because he just doesn't have quite the ball speed yet. Where he can get that thing down the lane. So his problem starts where it's just hooking a little bit too early for him, but he's working on it. So he's got the release for it.
How old is he?
He's only a freshman.
Oh, he's got time.
He's got time, and he's got the release for it. The release is good.
Just gets a little stronger.
Just doesn't quite have that yet.
Just gets a little stronger, and he'll be on top of it.
You see Eli there just smashing back.
See, and there's experience right there. He is absolutely accustomed to that transition.
Certainly.
And knows how to make the move to get the ball in the pocket.
Oh, that's him right there that I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
See where he just goes. I can't think of his name, but that was him right there. He went Brooklyn on that one, didn't he?
Yep. Went Brooklyn.
Yep. If he could just open up on that a little more and feed it to the right, that ball might have had a chance. But yep.
And that
couple more miles an hour speed.
That kid eats and sleeps bowling. He was like you guys were when you were. I had a name for him. Rats, bowling rats. After school, where'd you go? Went bowling. Saturdays, where'd you go? Every center's got him, and he's
Yep.
When I had this place, Brian Van Meter, who has it now, he was a bowling rat.
He just lived here, yeah. And look at the caliber of bowlers. I mean, like Phil said, you have to do it. You have to practice. It's an amazing thing once it all comes together, but it takes a lot to get there.
That's Ferris right there who had that big, and he just started throwing two-handed. And Cato Hillscamp right there is up, just started throwing two-handed. Let's watch him here on lane, was that 5? Let's watch the St. Mary's guy. Now you can't beat that for him.
It's great, yeah. There's a lot of kids on that team just throw the ball really, really well. Both teams. I almost saw a sour apple.
There's certain lanes in the world that are prominent to leave that 5-7-10. I saw a pair of lanes we bowled on a few weeks ago in a league, and there were like 4 of them left.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I'm like,
who's the gentleman right there? Did he throw that last shot too? Is he in the 10th frame?
For St. Mary's?
Yeah.
That is, I believe, is that Jake? No.
See now this
is where we need the numbers.
I like that for him right there. That guy throws it nice.
I believe that's Jake Ackroyd. No. Maybe Caden.
Is this Neely up here? This might be Neely on 5.
Yes.
Yeah, he fed that left. He fed it out.
There's right there. If you caught, there's another. If you caught that shot right there, there's your advantage of the two-hander. Neely shot right there, a little light, and the pins just exploded, and that's from Revolutions. That's pure Revolutions. My ball don't act like that.
Same.
Stelzer throws a big strike, and everybody's pumped up for him. Hey, by the way, you guys, I just want to bring your attention. If you notice down there, the legend of Astro Lanes is in the house.
The legend of Astro Lanes.
Mike Moore must be here.
Yeah. He's talking to Jay. See him down there?
Oh, there he is.
Where's he at? Can we get him in the shot here? Look,
we got to get him over this way.
There he is.
How many 300s does Mike have?
Oh, I bet he's got 12. I bet. Let's watch this guy on lane 6.
This is Will Ross here. This is Coach
Oh,
Ross's son.
He throws it real nice.
Yeah. Big high backswing.
There you go.
17.
There you go.
Let's watch that again.
There you go.
Slow down a little bit. Yeah, just.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Knocks the 7.
Love that.
Is he a senior, Logan? Do you know?
Junior.
He's only a junior.
Yep.
So he's got a career ahead of him yet, doesn't he?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mike.
He's got such a good level head as well, just like his dad. Mike declined our invitation to come over.
I was like, I don't want no part of that. Oh, yeah.
Good shot there,
you
Will.
go,
Wapak 214 there. I missed some scores from Wapak and St. Mary's boys match. But I think they just had a huge
There's the legend, you guys.
That's.
Yeah. Yep.
Hi, Steve. Have a good one. You guys.
There's the man, guys.
I think, Logan, you need to hire a statistician.
Next year, we're getting statistician and then a holy cow.
A holy cow?
A holy cow, yes.
Right.
Telestrator, there we go.
Telestrator.
I had to really think about what, after my telepathy mistake.
All right.
But yeah, that's going to wrap this one up.
Hey, let me just say, you two guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do this. This is definitely, I'm going to remember this for a long, long, long time.
I had a lot of fun here with you tonight,
I sure
always
do
a pleasure, my
appreciate it.
friend.
I
Thank
sure
you
do
so much.
appreciate it.
That was the
I
best
hope
one.
I hope I didn't mess it up too much for you, and you don't lose your license or anything like that.
No, fantastic job. I appreciate you being here with us.
Oh, I loved it. Great seeing you. I haven't seen Logan in
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I've not been around, so yeah, I really appreciate it, and thanks for doing it. So, Phil, any final thoughts?
I think that this is just a great display of the state of high school bowling. Looking at this place being completely jam-packed with fans. You saw the excitement level of these kids. I'm telling you, we are putting people in the sport of bowling that are going to be here for a while at a competitive level, and that's exciting. It's exciting to see these bowling centers and facilities really put their effort into it. I mean, look at what Brian did with the cameras just for this. Setting up the bleachers, he built those bleachers, or I guess Linus built them for him, but whatever, had them built, paid for them. It's just it attests to what excitement this really is injecting into the world of high school athletics. I love it.
You know, the last 10 years, this is fact, fastest growing sport in high school activities.
Right. That's fantastic.
Is high school bowling.
I love it.
Something you can do forever as well.
Do it forever.
Logan, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phil.
Appreciate it.
For
Thank
Denny,
you, my man.
I'm Logan Yelton. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Rider Nation Station. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.